In the upper left, folks, here in our grand finals, the blue Terran from Kaizi Gaming. He had his best run at IEM Katowice we've seen in a long time. The Polish Terran, it's Spirit. And his opponent in the bottom right in the red, the IEM Katowice semi-finalist, the best Protoss player of 2022, it's Hero. Hello, Dr. Jose Calvo. Thanks so much for the follow. Glad you're here as we get into our grand finals. Now, the interesting thing, by the way, when we talk about Dragon Phoenix Gaming, is the fact that Kaizi has two former world champions, right? Okay, fine. There are very few teams that can contest that. Onside has Solar and Maru, but realistically, considering the form that Oliveira is in right now, and we saw it happen when Onside barely lost, I narrowly favor Oliveira and Reynor compared to Solar and Maru. Just recent history tells us that as a little bit of a eBay block coming in from Spirit in this game one. Cheeky. But he didn't get much build time on it, so it's not going to last all that long. But when we talk about this, Dragon Phoenix Gaming is like the one team that is like, okay, you know what? If you got two aces, that's fine, because we have more. You got Hero, the best Protoss player of 2022, and it's by a wide margin. He won GSL Season 2, was top 4 in Season 3, was placed pretty highly in Season 1, won Atlanta. You know, he actually won all of his tournaments against Terrans, which is kind of funny, considering how he's been vocal about how he's not comfortable in the matchup. The man who revolutionized PvZ. Okay, you got Hero. You might say, oh, that's nice. You know, that's fine. That's a good player. He's been an ace in Pro League. He's incredible in Team League formats, but that's just one player. Well, okay, we got Dark. We have also a former world champion in Dark, a man who won DreamHack Valencia, who when he's on is just on. Okay. Fine, you got two aces. Hero and Dark versus Oliveira and Reynor. That's fairly good. That's pretty equivalent. I might even give DPG the advantage off that one just because of racial matchups. It seems like Western ZVZ is struggling right now. Hero's also very good against Reynor, and I would like to, and I think I favor Dark against Oliveira just a little bit. But hold that thought, because Hero getting very aggressive on the map here. And Adept is going to run across. We're going to see him into the natural before it's done, and that's going to be annoying. And it's going to be a very forward proxy gateway. I almost thought this was going to be Stargate, but no. Gateway is going down. Well, let's see what this can do. The Hero's kind of taking a page. It looks like he's taking a page from what he did in game one against Cyril almost, where he proxies the gateway, gets Adepts in, just gets a lot of pressure. But there's a third gateway going down here as well. So this is a lot of pressure coming in from Hero, not a lot of tech. And maybe he can just kneecap the Terran before anything happens. That's going to have to be a recall. Adept should actually get out here. Nice job there. Hero immediately recalls as he realizes that, okay, he made a mistake there. Huh. Robo as well. And now Warp Gate's not done. So as the Marines push forward, the Adepts, they have to keep this thing alive because, well, the Gateway's going to be forfeit otherwise. So the Adepts, we're going to see them run forward once again. Adepts will not complete their shade. Pylon, well, Stalker's actually going to warp in here. Pylon stays alive. One Adept falls, but here come the Stalkers. So there we go. Spirit, maybe now he overcommitted just a little bit. 3 gateways are on the map. There's not going to be a bunker for quite a while here. Widowmine's going to burrow. That's fine, but it doesn't control significant space. It keeps the main base alive, sure, but Stalkers can find their way into the natural. They can force a lift here. Spirit's going to be slapped back onto one base for a while. And remember, folks, there's a Robo. Observer's going to be the first unit out. So even if you are doing what Spirit's doing, which is Cloaked Widowmine drops or Cloaked Widowmines in general, you're going to have an Observer out in time. Although, well, as I say that, Warp Prism on the way after this, the first Observer is going to be rallying onto the other side of the map from here to make sure he can, get damage done into the natural, which means that the Observer's not going to be ready at home. So while this is technically build order good for Hero, because of the way he's executing it, it actually might turn out fairly nicely for Spirit here. Of course, Hero is aware that there are drops in, so he's got 3 Stalkers in the natural. Drop goes into the main base. 4 natural 4 Widowmines are going to go down. Hero is not unburrowing because he's going up in the front, and we're in a bit of an awkward situation right now. 11 probes have gone down into the main base. More will fall. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There were Hellions in that medevac. That is a lot harder to clean up, but probes are doing a great job. That being said, folks, Stalkers, they find their way into the main base. We're going to see the reactor go down, so only 1 Widowmine at a time. SCVs are going to have to get pulled here, but they're going to run through a choke. This is actually... It seems like Hero might get commensurate damage, or even more so, as he micros backwards. Of course, Marauders are coming out, but there's no concussive shells. So that's a little bit awkward. This Widow Mine will not go off. And how does Spirit stay alive at home? That really is the question. Stalkers have warped in the main base. More probes have fallen. But this army in the main, that's the problem, as a Marauder will go down. SCVs get pulled once again, but they're Adepts at the front. Adepts shred these units, even as the Stalkers get low. So... what's the play here, Spirit? You're just going to have to desperately kite. Widowmines get carpet bombed on top of things. One gets targeted down. Not just quite. Oh, Widowmine actually goes off, but I'm not sure it matters because more Stalkers arrive. Heroes up double the supply at this point, and Spirit has to tap out. What a weird game one. In the bottom right, folks, in the blue data game, looking to equalize, looking to make sure both he and Hero hit the grave here. It's Spirit. And in the upper left, in the red, up 1-0, looking absolutely dominant in what was a janky game. It's Hero. So again, we see the eBay block. This one is a much more successful for Spirit than it was in game number 1. But oh no, he loses an SCV. Yeah, that's awkward. Doesn't delay the barracks, of course, but still a bit annoying. So what now happens in game number 2? I mean, we saw an attempt from Spirit to do something weird in game 1 off of, I said not even fair. Hero did really weird things in game 1, and that meant that, well, Spirit kind of had to do something weird in response. Drops an armory, tries to get counter damage, and in fairness, he got like 20 probes. But he committed so much in the aggression that he just had nothing on the ground to defend. So this is going to be Stargate coming in game number 2. As Hero, he does that thing that sometimes Protoss players do. When they get eBay blocked, they say, that's fine. I'm going to be a Zerg for a moment. And I'm just going to take my third base as my natural. Because why not? After all, why shouldn't I? I'm the one that's going to get aggressive for the while. By the time the Terran pushes out, I mean, if I can't hold that third base, I'm kind of dead anyways. So these Adepts of the Natural, hey, they kill off a couple SCVs, they get a Marine, but most importantly, they deny mining at the Natural for just a little bit longer. And the fun thing about this is, I mean, look at what we got on the way. Oracles on the way behind this. So you have Adepts of the Natural, you have 3 of them. So that one-shots Marines, that one-shots probe, or one-shots SCVs. And then you got Oracles as well. And Spirit is doing an interesting thing. Normally, when you're denied from the Natural like this, you just build your orbital and you say you're okay. But he's building SCVs out of this and just hiding them in the main base. I don't know how I feel about that. The Marines, they run down the ramp, but it is still 2 Adepts here. And Oracle's going to dive on top. Anti-air is going to be sorely lacking, but at least the Widowmine is going to... Well, there it's a low... It's almost a dead Adept anyway, so that's not really all that great. This Widowmine will fall to the Oracle. But how much economic damage can happen after this? Marines, they run out. One will continue to fall. That's another dead Marine. And Oracle just reigns supreme in the Natural. Yeah, it's not going to kill economy, but it has sniped down, wiped out almost the entire early game that Spirit has going for himself. It's 2 dead SCVs, 4 Marines, a Widowmine, and now there's a second Oracle. Now there's even more anti-ground versus a very paltry anti-air force that Spirit has going for himself. So into the main base, these oracles will go, and well, I don't see any widow mines here, so that's what seems to be happening. But well, only one oracle has any sort of energy, so that's actually not getting nearly as much done as Hero might otherwise like. But he gets another SCV, and that's what is that, 4 total, I think, going down in the early game, and denying a lot of mining. So Hero's in a great spot here. He's up 11 workers, adding Phoenix behind that. And the interesting thing, by the way, normally you go single Oracle into Phoenix, and you're still pretty vulnerable to kind of Viking, Hellion, Cyclone, Marine timings. But Hero went double Oracle into Phoenix, and that does lead him rather vulnerable against these kind of ground pounding timings. But I guess the theory is, if you're Hero, you've done so much damage at this point. You've killed 10 workers. You've killed off a lot of the Marines. That A, you're not worried about that push because you've killed a lot of the early game units, and B, you've smashed the Terran economy. So there we go. Cyclone gets a good lock on, and you know, technically, Cyclones are better against Phoenix right now, but the SCVs are going to be mass repairing this. But what that means is there's not a lot of anti-air to deal with the Oracle, so 3 more workers will fall, and well, Phoenix are just going to be able to get their way right on out. That is a rather ballsy Marine, but he knows he's got Vikings backing him up. And this Oracles do not get this much damage done versus Terrans 97.5% of the time. It's just not a thing. It takes 1 extra damage, and since the Oracles have to hang around a little longer, you have to decelerate or kind of circle. And Oracles, if you're microing Oracles, you want to keep them moving. You don't want them to ever have to decelerate because you just have to stick on the SCDs a little longer. It's harder to make that happen. But I love what we see happening from Hero now. He's like, yeah, you know, I got enough damage done. That's fine. I know you're going to be pushing out because I know this army that I'm building is just so tempting. And also, I've done tremendous damage to you, so good luck playing a macro game. So he's just going to drop stasis traps along the path. We already see 1 outside the natural. I would expect to see more just covering the map at this point. And that is going to mean that, I mean, if Spirit wants to move out in this game, good freaking luck, man. His army will just be trapped and trapped and trapped and trapped. And I've been, you know, praising the stasis trap coverage. Look at the vision Hero has on the map right now. He is just everywhere. Spirit is not going to be able to sneak a drop out. He's not going to be able to sneak a push out. And in fact, Spirit's not going for that push. You might think you might have to because of the damage he's taking. He's down 20 workers right now, but he's going to try to macro out of this. Into the mid game, into the late game, his 3rd base already on the way. That's not going to go down for just a little bit. In fact, I feel like the better play is just to drop it out front. It's not like Hero has anything on the ground, but Spirit doesn't really know that. And if Spirit tries to take his 3rd base right now, I mean, Charge is done. Storm is just about done. There's a Warp Prism on the way. Hero is going to sweep Spirit from that 3rd so hard. So it's better now, if you're the Terran, to take advantage of the fact that you got triple mules. You know, you can build 3 SCVs at a time. Don't try to end the game right now. Just make sure that you can go in mine out. Just make sure that you can have that economy. So that by the time that, yeah, there we go. That's the Spirit we know and love. And eventually you're going to be able to bring this back in the ultra late game because folks, bunkers are going down. This is a Spirit who is, he has committed himself. He has consigned himself to the fact that if he wins this game, it's going to be like 30 minutes from now. So now we move from a game of, okay, well, you know, is Spirit going to run across the map and try to counter to, okay, how can Hero break Spirit? Because there are bunkers, there are shield, or there are supply depots everywhere. Zealots are never going to make contact with the tanks. And it's going to be a slow push coming out of Spirit. He's going to eventually max out. +1 air attack actually is on the way. And that's just going to be for the Phoenix, I think. We don't see a 2nd starport. We don't see a fleet beacon. I guess it's for the Oracles too. Well, no, I don't think, actually, yeah, attack upgrades, I don't think they apply to Oracles. It's spell damage, and it's not one of the weird exceptions where attack upgrades apply to spells regardless. These banelings are, I think they're technically classified as spell damage against buildings, but they still have attack upgrades apply to them. But Spirit, yeah, he's moving on. Concussive Shell is just about done. He's got 1/1 on his ground. He's got a Ghost Academy on the way. And he will eventually max out. In fact, his army supply is ahead of what Hero has right now. His total supply is pretty even with Hero. Although, of course, that is because now Hero is advancing into that late game. There's the extra fleet beacons, or the extra Stargates. There's the fleet beacon. You would assume carriers out of this one. I mean, I like Tempest too. If you're playing against a Terran that is as turtled as this, you drop Revelations and you start to kill tanks and Vikings and things and force the Terran out into a position where they don't want to fight. But realistically, it seems like even when that seems like a good situation, we've been seeing Protoss just go for carriers anyways because they're more all around. And I can't say I hate it. There we go. Carriers are on the way. +1 air just about done. Armor on the way for Hero right now. As I want to say he's double forge. Pretty sure. If he's not, he should be. And by the time Spirit feels comfortable to move out of the map, I mean, Hero's army is going to be massive. He's going to have like 6 carriers. He's going to have a bunch of disruptors. He's going to have heavy upgrades on the ground, on the air. And, well, War Prism tries to find its way in the main base. Even with War Prism speed, that's not going to happen. -10 supply. Okay, but here we go. Hero's going to try to make something happen. Zealots actually, they run forward. Nice job there from Hero. Move commanding them through the bunkers and then getting right on top of the tank. So a couple tanks will fall. That's going to be a 3rd dead tank on the left side. And Disruptors, they going to get anything more? No, actually, we see the big benefit of the nerf right there because I feel like those tanks would have taken damage otherwise. Even still, Hero spending some of his economy to kill off a couple tanks, but Spirit has his 4th base regardless. Seems difficult to break the Terran when they're just going for this slow type of push. Missile turrets are going to go down. But Hero, he's adding a Warp Prism. Or, not a Warp Prism, excuse me. He's adding a Mothership as the Zealot gets on top of this tank. But the Marines will find their way over and knock that down. And a Mothership is fun for several reasons. It forces EMPs out. Not that a Terran is going to be shy about EMPing the army anyways. Or scans or things like that. But it also means that you can recall into the Terran's main if you get the Mothership over there. Take a kind of an interesting path. So it gives you more map maneuverability and, you know, detection's nice. It makes it a little bit harder for the Terran to take the fight. So we're going to have to see now if that is going to be worth doing for Hero here as he does finally max out. Nice scan from Spirit on the right side. He's going to see where the Zealots are. But again, the Zealots, they just want to run right on through. There's an orbital serving as a wall. It's a bit interesting, but hey, there you go. The Zealots will get through that one pretty quickly, and they will get on top of these tanks in the natural. So honestly, these Zealots are doing a great job. I was praising the Sim City of Spirit, but the Zealots, with their 1/1, they're not even heavily upgraded compared to what the Terran has. They're doing a great job of just punching through over and over again and not ending, certainly not, but minimizing the turtling, the value that this turtle from Spirit has been able to find. And now Hero is maxed out. He started to find himself in a much he started to build a bank, which is very nice for him, taking a base on the right side. He's got 6 carriers, 6 Phoenix. The Phoenix are kind of useless at this point. You might want to trade those out. And the Disruptors actually do a great job of dealing with the missile turrets. That means that the carriers will eventually be able to push in through this bottom side. And credit to Spirit, you know, he's been able to lock this game down. He's been able to try to stay alive, get himself maxed out, get his upgrades going. And I said, by the way, these Phoenix were useless. And I kind of stand by that with Ghosts on the field. But we got Alien Pulse Crystals on the way. And that does mean that Hero is maybe not exactly intending to make this game go... he actually is intending to use them, as the drop on the right side is going to get dealt with. Carriers are just... well, they're killing everything. And we actually are seeing the buff, the nerf, the change to carriers as well, where if a carrier is in range with interceptors, the carrier is what is going to get targeted. And remember, folks, carrier has like 600 effective HP. Interceptors have like 40. If you could keep your interceptors alive and the there we go. We're gonna see the mothership recall. So storm on the Vikings, the entire army of spirits on the left side, but Hero doesn't really want to go just yet. He's got a big drop coming in on the left side, but ooh, cannons are gonna get a lot of these pylons going down. Stalkers are gonna warp in. Shield battery overcharge is nice, and now here we go. Army getting on top of the Vikings, storms as well, and Spirit is losing so much of his anti-air forces. Meanwhile, the mothership comes home and is gonna recall part, or actually all of this army to deal with the drop. Wait, how is that? Excuse me? That the disruptors felt like they were part of that army. Are part of the area under recall. I saw them grayed out, but apparently not. Weird. Anyways. EMPs tag the oracles, but not that it really matters because the oracles, they got the revelation off. Disruptor shots on the right side. Spirit loses a couple ghosts, loses a missile turret as well. And Hero is not trying to break where Spirit is. He's trying to break where Spirit wants to be. So as long as Spirit's on 4 bases, that's fine. Spirit cannot be allowed to get a 5th. Ah, that is very smart, Bulldoze. Thank you for pointing that out. There was no more space on the ground for the ground units. It would have been into dead airspace, and you can't make that happen. So that's why the disruptors were not recalled. Good eye. Thank you so much. On Fire J, thank you so much for the follow. Glad you're enjoying things. These games are sick. +3 air attack just about done. Blink DT blink on the way. Shadow Stride as the patch notes aren't even aware of it. That's always funny. Yeah, the patch notes for the recent change, you can tell that the pro gamers wrote it because it's not called Shadow Stride. Has been because the blink it's like 0.71 seconds now instead of 0.75 on the attack delay, just to make things match up on different game speeds. But you can tell the community members wrote it because it was not written as Shadow Stride. Now as a 0.71 second attack delay. It is DT blink. As nice EMPs on this army, but a couple ghosts will fall. And well, remember, shields are a renewable resource for the Terran players. I think that's just was that a carrier that went down? I think so. But now the Vikings are they're just eating a lot of shots here, even with their enhanced. Well, oh wait, they got the Warp Prism. That's super fancy. So that means there were no storms in that army. The mothership will fall, but this is going to be a dead base coming out of Spirit here, and that is far more important. And this is not a -400 mothership. In fact, I would not mind seeing here a spin up another one immediately. It has actually found so much value here. Disruptors are going to force the bio R. Oh, they split right into the shot. That's not what you want. Thank you, Emperor Fubel. I'm pretty proud of the bolus idea. In fact, I am presenting part of the results, some of the dynamic simulations at a conference in 2 weeks. So I will not be streaming the week of March 4th through the 11th. Yeah, these are Dead Phoenix. The point of anti pulse crystals is to get additional range, not just run into a bunch of Vikings and lose them all. But Hero is getting other things. He's already replaced the supply, built a bunch of DTs. There is no detection here, and the DTs get right on top of the planetary. There is the scan though. Ghost tries to snipe something out, but they all get out. Okay, Revelation on the left side. That's going to be some interceptors that aren't, or some liberators that aren't going to be able to do all that much. We're going to see some starports go down. Missile turrets start to fall very quickly here. And, well, Vikings are doing a good job. They're killing some of the carriers, but now the interceptors are just going to sit right on top of them with a storm as well. Vikings, what Vikings? They're done. They're gone. And Hero, he's got a bank. 7K, 3K. Spirit does not. Spirit is very broke. He's trying to take this base on the right side. And the missile turrets in front of the base are very nice indeed, but I think the DTs might be able to blink out of that detection range. And yeah, they do. They get right on top of the planetary. Tank is not going to get the shot it needs, and now that is going to be a dead base for Spirit once again. And folks, it doesn't matter how well you turtle, how solidly you're able to stay on your 4 bases. When you're 20 minutes into a game and your opponent is taking one of the corner bases from you, you need to do more than survive. You need to thrive, and that is just not in the cards right now. Spirit is not mining much money. He's only on 59 workers. He's on an equal-ish army supply, but he needs this base. And now he's trying to hold an orbital instead of a planetary. That's not all that great. Zealots are going to get on top of the tanks. It's going to be at least one dead tank before the ghost snipes go down. But it's all about clearing space. It's all about making it easier time over time for Hero to go and actually find value on the right side and push in. So this is going to be a dead Oracle. That's unfortunate, but it does get the Revelation off, as now Liberators are going to siege up, but it's really all about trying to get it in on top of the base position. Meanwhile, what is that? Yeah, Zealots and Archons, they try to find their way onto the planetary, but that actually will get held on. The big deal, though, Interceptors have been released, so they're going to swing on over to the tanks. I don't think we have any Storms right now, and it's Carriers versus Vikings. 3-1, yeah, 3-1-1 Carriers versus 2-1 Vikings, and the Vikings are just dominating this fight. Hero loses almost his entire army, and I don't, even a recall won't save him at this point, so he's got to run away, but Zealots on the right side denying the economy of Spirit, and we've been talking about this. It's not about the army fights anymore. I mean, it is. Cost effectiveness is nice, but it's not really about the army fights anymore. It's about bases. And Spirit is just, he's on 48 workers. He really is struggling to take that right side base. But the big deal, because he killed so many carriers, he actually can solidify his hold on the 6 o'clock base, and he can take the 7. Okay, we talked about that base getting taken. Yeah, the planetary is done, and it's just immediately sniped down. Plus 3 stalkers, even if you have building armor, and I'm not sure whether... I assume Spirit does at this point. It doesn't matter. You know, the stalkers will still kill it, especially when the planetary is not done when they get started. So, base trade coming on in from Spirit. But folks, you know, they say don't base trade a Terran. I got bad news for you. This is a hero that has the entire map, and Spirit really does not. So he's going to siege up the main, and that's something. He's going to kill the naturals, going to depower a lot of these robos, but it's all, really, it is all about the pylons. It's all about these gateways. Because, oh, big disruptors. No, Spirit, no! Well, that's not good. I was giving Spirit an opportunity. He's like, yeah, he got the robos. If he gets the pylons down, that's going to be something. But he just lost everything on the ground. Like, this is just so bad. And now here come the disruptors onto the high ground here. Liberators will siege up where that is. But the Phoenix is going to ever so slowly worry these down. Stalkers on the left side as well. And again, this bio in the main, it's doing something. But the Liberators is the one thing that's keeping it safe from the disruptors, and that's just not working out super well. A couple Zealots warp in as well, and now the Liberators are dead, so Spirit is dead. Cool game, long game. But Hero takes the 2-0. And the first champion out of Kaizi Gaming looking to knock the Kings off their throne will fall. Hero, he takes the 2-0. In the upper left, folks, in the blue, the second champion coming out from Kaizi Gaming, the former world champion, in fact, from Italia, Reynor. Italia? Italy. And the bottom right in the red, 2 maps to his name already, the best Protoss from 2022. It is Hero. And man, I love, I know this doesn't make it into the YouTube videos, but you can go back and look at my Twitch VODs if you want. I love the intros they do before each game. They have, they're taking a page out of GSL. We have, you know, someone saying, they have a voice actor or someone reading out, Kaizi Gaming versus Team GP or whatever. But it is someone with a very clear Chinese accent. I don't know who voiced it. So it's, Kaizi Gaming versus Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Let's start the game. Or something like that. I'm not doing it super well. But it's so wholesome. And I'm aware that Italia is Italy in Italian. And also other Romance languages. But I was introducing in English. It's not like I'm saying, in el norte, el jugador de Italia, Reynor. That would work. But en el sur de Corea, Hero. You think I'm showing off Emperor Fool because I can speak Spanish, kind of. Certainly I cannot cast in Spanish. But it was funny. So I was talking to Lino on the final day. I was hanging out at the player hotel at like 2 in the morning, trying to keep myself awake before my flight out of Katowice. And you know, Lino is one of those Europeans that speaks like 7 languages. I don't speak any Italian. I don't know any Italian, Marty V. Buren. But anyway, so I'm talking to Lino, right? Lino is German, but he speaks English, and he works from home, so like he's a digital nomad for the most part. I'm talking to him, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're talking in all these different languages. I'm like, yeah, I'm just this typical. I can speak Spanish conversationally, but that's about it. So he just pops in, oh hey, let me start speaking to you in Spanish. His Spanish is better than mine. I'm like, what is this? Your English is better than my English. Your Spanish is better than my Spanish. I mean, I don't have any German, so that's a moot point there. But come on. It's not fair that you have multiple second languages that are that beat me up. Anyways, I'd have to show their way into the main base. That's going to be 1 dead worker. Nice to actually cancel there on the Spore, so the worker won't go down. Lings fall. And Hero's just trying to foment some chaos. It's almost like they have like 20 borders around them. I should take the time to like get my Spanish is like conversational at best. I should take the time to get it up to a greater fluency, but that would mean less StarCraft. And we all know which is more important. Now the Adepts. Oh wow, this is so smart from Hero. The Adepts forced the drones out to the right side. I didn't see the Oracle. So the Oracle flies in. The Adepts, well, it's still only 3 workers going down, but snazzy play coming in from the Smiling Assassin. That's cool. That was fun. And as our dear observer points out, it's still a perfect game coming in from Hero. And Emperor Fool, but you say, yeah, they all speak English. This is it's true up to a certain point. If like they're below like 30, 35, it's true. Otherwise, no. I definitely ran it when I was studying abroad in Spain. I definitely ran into a lot of people that did not speak English, or they spoke English to a point where it wasn't really worth talking about. They could say hello, So that was when knowing Spanish was actually really useful. Or the fun thing actually is when I was in like Italy, and I took like 5 years of Latin. I took 4 years of Spanish. So while I can't speak Italian, I can roughly understand what people were saying because of that Romance background. That was pretty cool. As the Queens now, they're going to force the Oracles back. That's a lot of hull damage on one of them, but this is Hero. Just lead with a healthy Oracle and try to find a little bit more value. So for now, where's he going to find anything? But no, the Queens are boxing him out, so double Oracle's going to dive into the natural here. Again, lots of hull damage, but they're going to dive in on the top side. Spore targets the healthy Oracle because, well, you can't really get the other one. So 2 more workers fall. Ooh, that got very close. And Reynor's doing a good job of holding on here. He's lost 5 workers, 6 workers at 530. That's more than acceptable. Oh, Queen Snipe attempt there, but there are 2 Queens behind, so that's not going to work out super well. And Hero behind this, he's adding double Robo Disruptor. So this is a very different way of playing this. Actually, it might be for Colossus. Hero went for a cool build that actually did not end up working out, but he went for double Robo Blinkstalker Colossus against Cyril, and he had the most incredible Warp Prism Micro I've ever seen as he tried to win that game. He didn't win, but I think against anyone else he probably does, as now Lings are going to surround these Stalkers, but they're going to pay dearly for it. Oracles, well, they're killing so many Lings that actually Lings start to run across the map a little bit more. But so much for the perfect game from Hero. Even still, that was a lot of dead Lings. 25 Lings for 3 Stalkers. Oh, interesting. Oh, this is so bad for Reynor. We're going to have to see if it's going to work out, but he's going Hydras behind this as Depths find a little bit more damage. At this point, they're kind of aged out, but this is Link Stalker Colossus against Hydraling Bane. And with the right force fields, this is not great. This is not great for Reynor whatsoever. Hydras, they get shredded. They legitimately get shredded by Colossus. Extended Thermal Lance means that, well, the range is there, and, well, it gets rather dicey indeed. So Lings now, they're trying to find this third base. They're not going to get much of anything as the Oracle, oh, one Oracle will go down. Hero overextend himself just a little bit as the Lings, that's a bit of a move command. But it's all about buying time. Hero, if he gets up to 3-4 Colossus, it seems like 3 Colossus will be that number. These Hydras are not going to do much of anything. So there we go. Warp Prism on the way. Extended Thermal Lance halfway done. Reynor has no idea this is happening. And he's building a lot of Hydras. He's not even started. Well, he built Banelings at the last second. He's building a lot of Hydras. The one question, though. Oh, he's adding a 4th Colossus. I think he did this against Cyril, actually. The one question, though, is where are our sentries at? We don't really have a lot of them, and you need something to buffer for the Colossus. It cannot just be a Colossus by itself. Zealots will just die to the Banelings instantaneously almost. So you need a little bit more, as now Stalkers run forward, but they're afraid. They don't want to get too far on creep. The Overlords will survive. But we have 3 Colossus on the map. 4th one just about done. And, okay, that's a big scout there. Reynor sees, yes, there's a Colossus on the field. And now Hero is just going to go. I gotta imagine. Extended Thermal Lance just about done. 3 Colossus on the map. 4th one on the way. More and more Banelings are morphing it, but again, where are our sentries? I don't see a single one. It's Stalkers, it's Zealots, it's Colossus, sure, but the Banelings are a scary, scary force. So the Stalkers, they blink forward, they clear creep, they deal with Overlords, but there are 23 Banelings on the way. That being said, Baneling speed is not yet done, and that's the big deal here. So if Hero can start to knock these down before the Baneling speed is done, that's the scary thing. But this is a massive surround coming on in from Rain from every side. Colossus doing what they can. Baneling's getting decent connections on the left side. On the right side, though, well, that's actually going to be massive. Colossus, though, they find their way onto the high ground. Stalkers, they blink out of it, and the 3 Colossus, they're still alive. Warp Prism is still alive. Colossus on the right side, though, does get beaten down. But Hero is doing such a good job playing with the cliffs, and that's actually a bunch of free Overlords. Reynor's not going to get supply blocked off of this, but that was going to get close. And now here come Lings, here come Hydras, not as many Banelings anymore. And the Queens on the backside, actually, they're doing a good job of distracting these Colossus, gently microing backwards. Warp Prism is now dead, so nothing to keep these Colossus alive, and Reynor continues to close this position out. But there are still Colossus, and it doesn't matter how much HP they have, they shred light units. So Reynor needs more. He needs to buy more time. He needs more Banes. He needs more Lings. And Hero, for his part, he needs that Warp Prism. He needs the Colossus yesterday. His momentum, the entire point of this push, it's all in, right? It's a 3-base Protoss all in. Well, you need to maintain that momentum. Losing the Warp Prism, that was bad. And in fact, he's going to have to recall back on home. But now he's got 4 Colossus. Now he's got a Warp Prism with this army. And that is going to be a little bit better. Again, no force fields, but Stalkers against Banelings actually do fairly well up to a certain point. And you just need to buy the time for the Colossus to do the damage they need to do. So more and more Stalkers are warping in. Army supplies are very equal here. And the 4th Colossus is done. But again, Reynor's setting up a counterattack. He's setting up a flank. And remember, Hero is all in here. It's on 3 bases, but still, it's an all-in Protoss player. And the Lings now, they're going to try to find their way into the natural. Hero, he's got to make sure this happens. If the run-by kills everything, it doesn't matter. But if he can if he can end the game right here, right now, the Banelings come crashing forward. Stalkers blink out. Actually, Banelings make good connections with the Colossus, but they're still going to stay alive. Second set, though, Hero, how's your micro? He's going to save 1 Colossus. Saves the second one, and actually he's just going to keep it in the Warp Prism for the time being. 4 Colossus remain. It's just a bunch of Hydras here, and they do not fight this. But Lings find their way onto the other side. 15 workers have fallen. Hero, he's so all in right now. What can he make happen? Oh, Colossus, they're so damn low. The spores, they're even going to start to move forward here. Zealots, they're going to get on top of the Queens. It's knife's edge, but it seems like Reynor has bought the time that he needs. He's up 20 army supply. He's up 60 workers. And the Colossus are strong, sure, but Reynor can lose this base now. That's fine. He just needs to get on top of the Colossus. He needs time for more Banelings to get ready, for more Hydras to get made, for more Queens. He needs one more big surround. And as Reynor moves forward, he's got to be so careful about this. He has a light killing army. He's got Zealots. He's got Colossus. He's got a couple Stalkers. But these Banelings, if they're allowed to complete, that is going to be horrendous. So Hero needs to find a way to get on top of them. Drones are going to get pulled here. Reynor's got one last-ditch effort. Hero, how good is your micro? Colossus getting picked up. They're still staying alive. 3 of them, 2 of them. They're still here, and they're fighting desperately for their lives, but the spores are adding so much. And 1 Colossus followed, the second one, 3rd, and the 4th. Hero desperately tries to make something happen, but it is not enough. And Hero, he falls. Reynor snipes him down. And at the very least, Hero is out of the running. Unless we go to an ace match. Unless we go to those revives. Whew. And the upper left, folks, in the blue. He's up a game in this series. A dramatic one indeed. Let's see if he can make it too. It's Reynor. And the bottom right in the red. He's down a game. Almost again made miracles happen with that Colossus micro, but not enough. It's Hero. So now, Dragon Scales is a much smaller map than Gressfon. And God, Gressfon's such a good map. I don't think I've cast a bad game. I don't think I've cast a bad game on Gressfon, which is crazy, by the way. But anyway, we're now going to get our way onto Dragon Scales. It's a much shorter map. It's a map that can be fairly good for adept play. And it is a map that no one wants to take a third against the Zerg. Either position is just wide open. It's easily run buyable. And Protoss can't realistically wall off their third or fourth. It gets pain. Misery. And yeah, it's so crazy when you look at it. It's nice that we have three teams that are legitimately top of the WTL contenders. Team NV, it used to be like Team NV and DPG, and that was it. And then Reynor joined Kaizi, and we're like, wow, this might be really good. And then we realized that Oliveira is literally, arguably the best player in the world right now, certainly the reigning world champion. And it's like, okay, well, they can make a deep run. And then you have Onside with Solar and Maru and Neve. And now, unfortunately, Neve is not quite at the form he was this summer when he was legitimately, a top 4 player. Or at least, and he should have been in the top 4 of Valencia, but legitimately like a top 4, top 8 player in the world. So we're like, wow, Onside's really good. They can make a deep run. DPG have legitimately three or four. DPG at their height when they had Zest as well. And there's one other player. Yeah, Zest and Rogue. So there was a point when DPG was winning every team league where they had Dark, Zest, Rogue, and Cure. In a year where Zest won a GSL Super Tournament, Rogue won a World Championship, Dark won a big tournament or two, and Cure won his GSL. And it's just like, you have more players than you can field in a given WTL week that classify as a super ace for any other team. Like, that's just ridiculous. If we can talk about how stacked that lineup... DPG is still stacked now. Hero, Dark, Cure is fantastic, but it's not quite as flexible as it once was. I don't know that we will ever see a team that is that stacked again. Maybe like Jin Air, when Jin Air was the one Korean team remaining, or the one like traditional Korean team remaining that had Rogue and Maru and SOS on it. But yeah, absolutely insane level of quality. I'm just excited for WTL next season, though, as Reynor evacuates the drone. The Adepts won't get much done. I'm just excited for WTL next season because I am hopeful that, well, I'm pretty confident we're going to play, but hopefully we get someone. Because right now it is Trigger and Cyril, and then we can get Roddy to be the anchor. But hopefully we get someone. I imagine that this offseason from WTL is going to be crazy. With, say, Dark going to military, everyone from Team NV up for grabs, maybe some other contracts expiring. It'll be fun. So 3 additionals on the way for Hero in this game, but there's no Glaives, folks. I'm crazy. Did I totally miss Glaives? Oh, yeah. So this is just going to be, what is this, like a 7-gate coming in? So Lings are going to get on top of these adepts at the start, but this is just such a weird build coming in from Hero. It's pressure. Actually, with the gateways getting added in, it's committed pressure, I guess. There's a Dark Shrine coming in behind that one. So what is that? 6 gates. 6-gate Robo coming in from Hero with a Dark Templar, with DTs coming in behind it. That's a weird build. This is anachronistic as hell. This is a build, you know, we used to see a long time ago. And there we go. There's the blink on forward. So that's what I missed. Wow. Too busy trying to plug my mouse in because I was about to die. Adapts into the main base. They're going to get a couple more drones. 2, 3 in the number. And now the Stalkers, they back up for a second. And the interesting thing, Reynor's going to be looking at this. And he's going to be saying, okay, you know, I know you have these blink Stalkers. I saw you blink forward. Your Adepts didn't get that much done. Why are you not pressuring with the Stalkers? You have a lot of them. You know, what's up here? So that may tell him something's a little bit off. In fact, he deputizes a bunch of Lings to go try to defend his third, or to go try to put pressure on Hero's third, but there's nothing there. So now, well, the Dark Shrine is just about done. Stalkers move forward. Biles will not land at the start. That's a dead queen, and there's a wall. So now Reynor knows that this is all in, if he didn't know it otherwise, and it's all about holding on. You need queens, you need Lings, you need roaches, you need Ravagers. There's a lair on the way. That's nice. Getting Overseers is actually going to be pretty important, because otherwise, well, DTs can be part of the fighting army. Zealots warp in defensively. They don't get much of anything done. Lings kill them off pretty much before they spawn. And now the Biles Hero, you don't want to... Oh, okay, he heats one. Second one's fine. And now, well, Hero's been forced to use warp-ins at home, and here come the Dark Templar. Lings on the south side. Actually, a bunch of them are going to join up, so the Stalkers chase that down. There's a DT finding its way into the natural. I know we have a spore. Yeah, there's a spore everywhere. So as long as you can take this fight, well, that's a bit awkward. DT's getting worker damage. Drones are going to get pulled to try to make this happen. And Reynor's holding on fairly well, but he has no creep between his natural and his third. This one DT is actually distracting Reynor so much that the Stalkers, they blink forward. And they're going to get a couple more roaches, a couple more Ravagers. Lings on the backside, though. That might cause a little bit more consternation, but instead, they're just chasing down reinforcements. That's going to be a dead Stalker in the corner. A couple more will fall. And now the Stalkers, they got to blink backwards here. The Lings are going to chase them down. A couple more Stalkers, they're going to get found out. And Roach Speed now about halfway done. Reynor finding himself with a pretty significant army supply lead here. When we're looking at all ins like this, you look at the supplies to equalize. Reynor's been doing a great job of just not taking all that much damage done from the DTs, getting on top of Stalkers and Zealots as they warp in. That's gonna be 2 dead on the right side. Hero saves 1, and now the Lings, the Roaches, they move forward. Roach Speed's not yet done, so they can't chase super well, but this is massive again for Reynor. He's up 6 workers. The Stalk on the right side, I mean, who cares? It's not gonna get much done. But Reynor's up 20 army supply. He's up in workers now. He's found a little bit of time to drone up. Roach Speed is gonna be just about done, and when Roach Speed is done, the Stalker's mobility advantage is going to diminish just a little bit. So Hero, he's on a bit of a timing right now. He's going to get a Roach, sure, and he's going to get some Overlords. Actually, Reynor's going to find himself supply block. Roach Speed's done in 1 second. There we go. It's not going to get canceled. And here comes the surround coming in from Reynor, forcing Hero back once again. But DTs, something. Yeah, Zealots actually in the main base. They don't have charge, but it doesn't matter because... well, Reynor can't micro 2 things at once. Even still, neither can Hero, and his Stalkers are not blinking this all that well on the front lines. Roaches are killing a lot of them. Zealots, they get the Queen, sure, but they will all fall down, and other Stalkers are going to blink forward, but double army supply. More Lings, more Roaches on the way. We need another Queen in the main base. That seems very useful. Ideally, we need creep between the natural and the third, but that seems doomed to fail for now as now Reynor comes storming down the ramp. Good force fields are actually going to put a lot of these Roaches in the mineral, or Roaches in the natural. They can't really fight. And this is the force multiplier that it seems like Hero has been needing for a while. He's only fighting half the Roaches at any given time, but now, well, sentries are out of energy. The Roaches can now flood down the ramp a little bit. Hero's got to back up just a little bit more. Sentries are not going to chase down, though. And again, we have to remember here, this is a 2-base Hero. So, yes, he has 42 workers. That's not that far behind what the Zerg is, but also... he is only mining off of 2 bases. We got to assume the main base is on 6 mineral patches right now, 4 mineral patches, something like that. He is not mining off of 2 bases what he was 2-3 minutes ago. So if the status quo remains, if Reynor just continues to trade army for army, squeak a drone out here or there. Eventually, Hero is going to run out of money, and he's not really snowballing to the point where we would like to see him do so. But the force fields are going to be nice, but they're actually not going to get that many roaches because, well, only one force field hit, and the big surround coming in from Reynor on every side. Where the hell are you going to blink? Where are you going to blink, Hero? It's not going to work out all that well. Yeah, the Stalkers, they take a fighting retreat, and the force fields will keep some of the army back home. But that is a massive surround coming in from Reynor. The Stalkers doing what they can, but, well, there's only so much that they can do. Now the Queens push forward. Ravagers fighting with that additional range, and Hero's lost so much of his standing army. And now, it seems like this is finally the point where Reynor can be on the map, where he is the one that can start to shove his way onto the other side and punish Hero for his very existence. There's no transition for Hero, by the way. He got the Dirk Shrine. He's not building anything out of it. He can't. He's not going to have a third base. The moment he tries to take the foot off the pressure here and take a third, it's just not going to work. Stalkers try to kill the Roach Warren, but oh no, Hero miscalculates. That's not great. Roaches try to find their way up the ramp. You got to be careful. There are 3 sentries here. And Zealots, they can kill this. So, but force fields, they're kind of suboptimal anyways. The Vials are going to kill them off, and oh, there's a last ditch from Hero. He's going to try to make something happen, but, well, he's lost all of his sentries. He's lost the Zealots. Yeah, that's it. Reynor pumps his fist because he 2-0-0. And that means now that Hero is dead. Reynor stays alive. And is it dark as a cure? In the bottom left, folks, in the blue, he 2-0'd Hero to keep himself alive, to knock down his opponent. He's Reynor. And in the upper right, in the red, the GSL champion from several years ago now. For DPG, it's Cure. And remember, folks, Cure didn't have the best showing at Katowice. I mean, granted, he ended up tied with literally everyone else in series scoreline that advanced and didn't advance out of Group A. Because Group A was weird, right? We had Ragnarok at 4-1 topping his group, making, again, a run to the round of 4 where he got brutally eviscerated by Mario. But you had him at 4-1, and the Dark was at 3-2. And then everyone else was at 2-3. And in fairness, actually, as I'm saying, yeah, Kira didn't have the best run. He ended up only behind me because he had one less map win and one less map loss. He was 5-6 in maps versus 6-7. But he was -1 in map score, 2-3 in series. It was Clem that really suffered in Group A. But from a Cure who had been doing very well online, you kind of expect more. And, he also, this is the second year in a row where he didn't make playoffs. As last year, he played that incredible TVT against Dream. I think it was also in Group A. To fight to see who was going to end up in the playoffs, and it ended up with Dream winning a base trade on, can't remember the map name. I can picture it in my head. Awesome game. One of the few good TVTs we had last year. We have been paused. You know what we're going to do, though? We have the benefit of being able to fast forward. All right. In the upper right, folks, well, why am I doing this? The game's already happening. I don't need to introduce anymore. I got myself all turned around. We're 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this game number 1. And again, reminder how this works. Reynor and Akira, they go 1-1. Both are dead. They don't get to play again until the revive or perhaps an ace match. Someone 2-0s. They stay alive to play their next opponent. They get 2-0. They get 0-2'd. They're dead. Their opponent stays alive. And Dragon Scales is a pretty decent map for mech. And remember, against Psystorm, Reynor looks pretty weak to the battle mech style. And oh my god, this is such an early second set. What is Kier going for? He's adding double gas on the natural at before 3 minutes. Now, for context, folks, when we look at this, normally you say, okay, well, second, getting 4 gas at the natural, like before 430 is mech. Okay, fine. So clearly this is going to be some semblance of mech, but this is so early on the gas. There's got to be some sort of double. Yeah, there we go, double factory play. So this is gonna be Blue Flame Hellions then, maybe. I don't even think you need double gas for Blue Flame. He's 3. What is Cure doing here? This is like a mass cyclone build. Like what? I legitimately have never seen this. I am so excited to see what Cure has in store for us. And Reynor's not going to get the scout. He's got 1 Marine, a couple more are going to rally on over. And he's not going to get anything. He's going to have no idea. He's going to see 3 CC. That's all he's got. Okay, Cure's being greedy. Is he building 6 Hellions at a time? Is that just, no, okay, he's double tech lab. Okay. So this just really quick into battle mech? Maybe? I'm just sitting here confused. This is awesome. This is so cool. And Reynor thinks this is, well, he's getting a Baneling Nest getting started, but he saw the 3rd base. So I think he's just assuming that this is going to be bio. Oh, yep, there we go. So 3 factory, super early. Battle mech, insanely early here. Blue Flame Cyclones or Blue Flame Magfield are going to be done by like the 530 mark. And because Cure has been so successful in being so greedy into this game, this timing that he's going to have to be active on the map is going to hit so quickly that it's going to be a little bit sad. Now, Reynor scouts double gas. And I don't know if you saw before then, but at 5 minutes, it's not even that weird. I'm not sure whether that cyclone was seen. Regardless, Reynor, well, he's getting spores. Yeah, he has no idea what this is. He's getting spores at every base, which, you know, 5 minutes in, that's a good timing. Folks, there's no starport. There is nothing. I mean, I guess if Cure floats his barracks onto the other side of the map, but there is nothing that these spores do. They don't do anything whatsoever. It is just wasted money as Reynor tries desperately to figure out what's happening. This is I don't want to play on ladder tomorrow. If people see this build, this is disgusting. This is so greedy. This is so effective, and the timing is so fast. It's Blue Flame Hellions with like 3 Cyclones at a time, 4 Hellions at a time. Lings are going to go for a counterattack, but well, actually it's only Cyclones here, so that's going to be a bit obnoxious. Cyclones have to micro backwards until the Hellions are done. SCV's actually pulled off the line a little bit. But this army from Cure is not one that Reynor is equipped to deal with in the slightest. He's got a Roach Warren on the way now. He's building more Lings, Baneling speed, but he is not equipped to deal with this thing whatsoever. And now he's going to get the full scout. He's going to find in the main base. He's like, okay, well, I see your factories. But I'm not sure how much that matters because Cure has survived the point where his build is, you know, too greedy to matter. More Cyclones are going to start to arrive. Blue Flame is done. That doesn't matter against the Queens, but Magfield does. And yeah, they can sustain for a little bit, but we get more and more Cyclones. They're starting to join the fray, and there's just perpetual vision. We talked about how Spores won't do anything against a floated barracks. Well, the barracks is, in fact, floating onto the other side of the map. Roaches are on the way now, but I worry that it may just not matter. The Queen, this is starting to snowball in the extreme. Queens are starting to fall. Ling run by is nice, actually. That's actually fairly significant. That's a lot of Lings. But it's only 5 dead workers at the moment. Roaches in the wall. Oh, they're all going down. Queens as well. Now Reynor's about to find himself supply blocked as the Overlords are just sitting here in the natural, and Cure's Omega Greed, the greediest build I've ever seen coming out of a Terran, is paying off. The Baneling Nest is going to go down. No more Banelings on that front. Roach Warren is probably going to be the next target, and Roaches, they pop out, but a rally here running across the map. More and more Overlords are going to go down. Reynor 100 supply out of 80. My God, this is disgusting, but I love to see it, and there's nothing Reynor can do. He can't build units anymore, and it doesn't really matter if you have the tech. I mean, he doesn't really have the tech. He doesn't have Banelings, you know, he doesn't even have roach speed. But it doesn't matter if he has the tech or not, because he just doesn't have the supply for it. Now, losing those drones might actually help him get unsupply blocked. But folks, this is a bopping. Cure got away with a big one here, and it's so cool. What a time to show a build. There were 2 Zergs at Katowice. Cure didn't bring this out against anyone. If anyone, he was going to bring it out against Ragnarok. He was never going to bring it against Dark because, again, teammates, you assume that's something Dark has seen. But what a time to bring it out here. WTL Finals. Reynor's just got to be scratching his head in disbelief. We can't see it, unfortunately. He had some lag with the zoom, with the webcams, but Reynor's dead here, folks. There's nothing more that he can do. Cyclones continue to rally. Lings are going to try to find something, but there are just enough Blue Flame Hellions that it's going to be fine. This build is so cool. And Reynor is dead. Cure, stone cold, implacable killer. He takes game 1. At the bottom left, folks, in the blue, down a game off of just about the weirdest build I've ever seen. Coming out of Terran, he is Reynor. In the upper right, folks, in the red, up a game, again, off the greediest Terran build that I've ever had the pleasure of casting, folks, it's Cure. I know people are saying, okay, so if Dark leaves, who's the best Zerg in Korea? And it's like, well, Ragnarok's not too shabby. But I feel like whenever I see Ragnarok make a deep run, he A, doesn't look super impressive, or B, he's got kind of a soft run. And yes, the exception there is taking down Cyril at Katowice, but this was a Cyril that looked so damn mortal in ZVZ. And realistically, it was a game that Cyril probably left very early in game 5. And I think most games, if Cyril plays that out, I think he wins. So you're like, okay, well, Ragnarok received a gift. His run in GSL Season 3 was kind of soft, and he got bopped by Maru. So, like, Ragnarok is good, but I don't hold him on the same pedestal as a Solar or a Dark or a Cyril or a Reynor or something like that, even if he does have the good results. And I don't know, maybe that's just bias. Maybe I'm just not giving him the credit that he deserves, but part of it is also he's kind of, I was talking to someone at Katowice who described him as, he's just like, a budget Dark, or a budget Solar or something. Like, effectively, he doesn't have a lot in his gameplay that makes him stand out. If you watch Maru play, for example, you watch Cyril play, you watch Reynor play, you can, especially if you get a couple of the replays, you can figure out who's playing. Maru's going to play defensively, he's going to have a great micro. If Bjorn's playing, he's going to go for a lot of 2-on-1s. He's going to play very aggressively on the map. If you see Cyril, he's scouting every 30 seconds the entire game. If it's Reynor, he's getting run-bys all over the place. Like, there are things that stylistically differentiate them. I can't think of something that, Ragnarok, he likes roaches, but so does Dark. He's just kind of milquetoast good. I don't know. Maybe that's not fair to Ragnarok. Okay. Reynor's going to find Speedlings into the natural here, and the Hellions are not done just yet. They're going to pop out right now, but they're going to have to stay on the high ground. It's only 2 Hellions versus a bunch of Speedlings. Because Reynor's speed was done early. He got the gas early, and now that means that's going to be 5 dead SCVs. Lings get on top of 1 Hellion as well. That's going to be a pretty fantastic trade coming out from the Kaizi Gaming. He's going to get a 6th throne, or a 6th SCV. That's going to be fantastic. So, nice job there, Reynor. You get damage done early. And I love what he's doing. He's holding the Lings in reserve. He says, yeah, come down the ramp. Come clean me up. And here come the Lings on the other side. But no, okay. You're a little bit too judicious with things. He's not going to get baited out. And behind this, Hellbat Marauder timing. And Reynor cut drones to make this happen. He does get damage done. Heals 5 SCVs. Denies mining out of the main base for a little bit. Gets a Hellion. But now he's going to be droning up hard. And actually, he's going to lose his Overlord, so he's going to get pretty much supply blocks, 53 out of 58. This Hellbat Marauder timing may catch him off guard. And while I am generally not a fan of Hellbat timing, because I don't think anyone really is, they don't seem to be all that good. That's the generic Hellbat timing. It's the default one, not this Viking Marauder Hellbat timing where you carpet bomb Marauders on top of the Queens, you land the Viking for a little bit extra DPS, and it is a much more powerful timing. Reynor seems to have the read. He's got a Roach Warren on the way down. I don't know what's going to be in time, though, because the army now from Cure is just stimming across the map. boosting across the map actually right now. Now, Lings are going to find their way onto the other side of the map and into the natural. I know there's no wall, so the Lings are going to find their way into the main base in the natural, getting mules at the start, but Queens are going to fall in earnest. And yes, Cure is all in, but that's fine because he's all in. It's all about this army right here, right now. Yes, you can rally in more Hellions, you can rally in more Banshees, but he needs to kill right now. So Viking has landed, 2 Marauders here on the ramp, and well, 2 Marauders in this army. Queen's on the ramp as the drones are going to get pulled away. But now these Queens, they're just going to get tagged. They're going to get papped right on down. One is going to fall immediately. Roach is now starting to form out, though. And as the Spore moves forward, that just denies some of the space that the oh, that's a very wayward medevac. But still, the Lings, they run forward. They don't get much of anything done. Roaches are now starting to fall, and the medevac is doing a great job of keeping these units alive. It's in good position. And it actually has not gone down just yet. That's the important thing. Queens are now going to finally target it, but it's still more dead Queens. And this is massive damage that Reynor is taking. He had to bring his Lings back home. He only got 5 SCVs. So yeah, he's up 13 workers, but these Hellbats are absolutely shredding. Only 1 Queen, I think, remains on the field right now. And you know why this is important? Because Banshees are joining the fray after this. And that's where things get scary with, yes, there are spores. There's static defense. But you want mobile anti-air against the Banshees to make sure you can defend them properly. And theirs just isn't. Yeah, there are spores. But again, 1 Banshee's on the map. 2nd one on the way. And this is where life gets very, very dicey. I would love to see... Oh, that's not a wall. No, 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 no. Come on, Cure. That's not what you want. In fact, the Lings are going to get on top of the mules once again. But Hellions will pop out as a couple Hellions dive into this 3rd base. They're going to get a couple more workers. Banshee is at home. Where's the other one? Seems like there's something flashing red in the middle of the map. Yeah, Banshee's trying to kill a Spore. Cloaks up. How many Queens do we have? Hellions get 9 drones. That's massive. And, well, here comes the Banshee. Trying to get a little bit more, but it's not going to... Can't really find its way on where the Spore is. There are definitely spots, but Kira doesn't really want to take the time for it. But, oh. Taking a page out of Gumio here. Hyperfly Rotor's on the way. And it's mech. Reynor seemed a little bit vulnerable to it, and Reynor certainly took decent damage. Oh, that's going to be a dead Queen, too. So, more dead Queens, more dead drones. Double Banshees arrive. That's going to be another Queen assassinated here. And how much anti-air do we have, actually? I mean, Spores prevent the total death of the Zerg, but is that like 1 Queen? We don't have a lot of anti-air at all. Yes, 6 Queens have died, 15 drones. This is becoming intensely problematic now for Reynor. He's got like 1 Queen at each mineral line. That is enough to kind of keep the Banshees back, as 1 Banshee gets very low. That's going to have to go back and repair. But there's another one floating across the map, and now we're going to have 3. No, most importantly, though, there are 2 that can still one-shot workers, and more Banshees are on the way. So this is kind of cool, right? We're getting +1 armor. We're not seeing attack upgrades, which makes some level of sense. Oh. Okay. Cure morphs them all into Hellbats. So Banshee's on the left side, Hellbats on the right. Queens have to deal with the Hellbats. And Roaches can kite against these Hellbats. Sure. But now the question is whether Reynor's going to slip in his micro, because he does have to micro on 2 fronts. The Banshees, well, they're going to just try to dive in. But Queens are actually in a great position. So I like the idea from Cure. It's not going to work out. And the Hellbats, they need to morph into Hellions and run away. But they're not really going to do that. In fact, they get off creep. So the Roaches won't really chase them down. And we're going to see German Taxi coming out again from Reynor here against the mech play. We've seen this tried. Right? We saw Lambo try this against Hero Marines Battlecruiser opener, and it didn't really work out. But the big deal here, as by the way, these are 5-speed Banshees. The big deal is that, well, first of all, this is not battle mech coming out of Cure. It is heavy mech. There are more and more Roaches in the way as Banshees are going to find this army running across. And the Queens do heavy damage to the Banshees, of course, but the Banshees, they just find the Roaches. And that's the big deal. Queens are the anti-air, but they don't really do much on the ground. So Banshees, they sit on top of everything that's on the ground, and they're going to kill that off as it runs across. And this gives Cure so much time. Because, yeah, there's this army from Reynor right now. But he's not going to have a follow-up. You know, what you see is what you get, and there are multiple tanks on the high ground. There are Hellbats that you got to punch through. This is a difficult situation for Reynor to punch through, really whatsoever. Cure is supply blocked, of course, and now we're going to see all the supply depots go down, but Well, these Banshees need to be, you need to do something with them. They are valuable. They can't just sit here. They're going to target the lair down. Trying to get the Queen as well, probably. And I think this lair is going to fall. The Queens are all on the other side for the most part. That's a dead Queen. Lair will fall, and the tanks are just absolutely shredding the army at the front. Hellbats as well, killing off all these Lings. Biles are going to finally not even kill a tank. As now the Queens run forward. I think, what is that? Ravagers in that second Overlord as well, trying to drop right on top of things. And, well, the mass repair is going to be very nice indeed. So Reynor's running out of steam. Kira's going to get the lair. Reynor has to tap out. In the upper right, folks, in the blue, the last regulation hope coming in from Kaizi Gaming, the world champion. It's Oliveira. And on the bottom left in the red. He's looking on fire here. He just 2-0'd Reynor, folks. It's Cure. And by the way, of course, for context, Oliveira and Cure, they played each other in IEM Katowice. In fact, the fact that Oliveira 2-0'd Cure was one of the main reasons that Oliveira got in the playoffs. And we got to see that miracle run. Because, well, he ended up being +0 in maps. -0 in maps. Cure ended up being -1. That was the tiebreaker. That was the difference. And remember, Oliveira, he has not lost a TVT before Katowice. You know, he has won every TVT in the playoffs, won every map of every TVT in the playoffs going up into this series. He won every TVT he played at Katowice, including, you know, that grand finals, that incredible grand finals against Maru. I'm interested to see where we go just now. Cure actually going for double gas, Barracks double gas factory. And we see Oliveira being a little bit greedier on Ancient Cistern, which makes sense. You know, the map is big. You know, you're able to get away with some things, but also Oliveira's back against the wall here. It's not crisis mode just yet, but it is a problem. Because you do want to make sure that you're able to. You can't lose a map right now. You don't want to go to your revive, not until you force DBG into a similar situation. So being this greedy is an interesting decision. Now, it can get you a lead, certainly. And Oliveira has been showing some very good defense. Now the Reapers try to get on top. Positive shots. And Cure rounding a corner? No, he's going to go straight on. Wait for the regen to pop in before he makes that corner turn. And that means that he should be, he's going to get out of here. Regen has started, and that's going to be it. One more shot would have done it, but Cure does a great job in that he just clicked away. Which seems crazy, but of course, units have acceleration and deceleration. So if you go around a corner, Oliveira would have been able to catch up and get the final shot. So, small thing, but it actually does matter quite a bit. As 2 Reapers now show up for Cure. He's running a Hellion across the map as well. Jumping up like this is not recommended, as 1 Reaper just falls. Okay, 3 Reapers and a Hellion. Second one joining the fray against a bunker and a Hellion. Actually, a couple of Marines in that bunker as well. So I don't think this is going to get that much done, but they run right on by. A couple workers in the natural. Those should all go down. And this is a bit awkward now. You don't expect this run by to get that much damage done, given the fact that this is Ancient Cistern and just how good defensively Oliveira has been. But at the end of the day, it's really not that many workers going down, even as the Hellion does escape. Well, no, it doesn't. Never mind. The Reaper escapes. Actually, did a single SCV go down? They all got very low, but I think Oliveira handled that very nicely indeed. And now, well, the Reaper finds his way to the main base. It's going to delay the third base for just a second, but it is still vastly faster than what Cure is going for. And that is going to be a little bit dicey because not only is Cure denying this third base, he's going for a bit of a 2-base push. He's getting Ravens on the way, adding tanks, and he knows what's happening now. He is well aware of how greedy Oliveira is being. That really should just incentivize him to get more, to just start to put more pressure on the map, to really run pell-mell into this push. So he's got, and of course behind this, he's going to go 3rd CC on location because, well, he knows his base timing is behind, but at least maybe the mining is going to be somewhat equivalent. And how do you defend this makeup grid, you ask? Well, you get active on the map. You run across, you get your 3 Ravens, you get your tanks, you get your Marines, and you make it so that Oliveira has to deal with a fire in his own kitchen so he doesn't have to go set fire in yours. I'm not sure why we have a picture-in-picture of the bunker and the natural, but it's not even a true picture-in-picture. It's a picture of a... Well, I guess it is a picture-in-picture. It is a freeze frame of that bunker and the natural. It seems like their tech has gone haywire. So again, Oliveira going greedy. Double E-bays, they're just about done. Stim on the way. It's actually ahead of what Cure has. And I thought we were going to see a bit of pressure coming in from Cure, given what he scouted, given how much faster this third base is from Oliveira. But at the end of the day, worker counts are equal. Oliveira is going to have to... He has his orbital, but he's going to have to float it over to the third base. Stim is a little bit faster for Oliveira. Upgrades much faster for Oliveira. And I guess at the end of the day, you know, Cure just wants to take this a little bit later. Didn't quite think he had a timing window that he... realistically probably didn't have. And now while the game goes on, scans out the main base, sees that this is BIOS, sees that there are 3 barracks, sees the starport timing on the reactor. He knows what's happening. He knows exactly what Oliveira is doing, and this seems to be one of those TVTs where the game is going to go quite a ways as we strap in for it. There are TVTs that, a lot of TVTs we cast over Katowice were, even if they went late, they were heavy action, heavy positioning, pressures going back and forth kind of from the start. But it seems like this is a game where both players are very content to just siege up their third base, turtle up a little bit, go to town. So now we are starting to see players get a little active on the map. Nice lock on the medevac. Bio's going to stem on top. That's a dead Cyclone. And also because you know the medevacs are there, well, out here you just got to run and run and run. Stem's done on both sides, of course, but the army's just a little bit bigger for Oliveira. So, and he's got the superior concave as well, so he shuts down that little bit of map movement from here, tries to lock him into his side of the map. And now 1-1 is done. 1-1 is going to be done in about 25 seconds, maybe, for Cure. And he's actually going to hit this fight before 1-1 is done. But now the Marines are going to clean everything up, and a little bit of a positive trade coming in from Oliveira as he rallies his army onto the other side of the map. And folks, I love Gressfon. I think it is, it's given us the best maps thus far. Ooh, Cure trying to find something, but he's not going to get these tanks. But Ancient Cisterns, I don't know. I think we got the best TVT of the tournament because that was the TVT where Oliveira secured his title. And here he's going to go moving on in. 2 tanks are disabled, only 1 firing away. But actually, wait, 1 of Oliveira's tanks gets disabled as well. Actually, 2 of them do. So doesn't actually work out at the end of the day. In fact, Cure has a ton of tanks. He's sitting at like 6 tanks. What is that? That is... Oliveira has to give this position up. It's never going to work. He's going to try to take as positive of a trade as he can, but... yeah, he loses all of his tanks. He actually loses the medevac with the Marines in it as well. So Cure holds on. And now the game continues. And Cure is the one that's going to have 2-2 advantage by just a tiny bit. Now we have Cure flooding onto the other side of the map. He's sitting 6 tanks to 3, even in Marines. But again, that tank count is by far the most important thing because you can have some incredible siege up positions on this map. And again, Oliveira, he's got a little bit of a Viking lead, not a significant amount, but it's going to be enough to, you know, steal the medevacs away a little bit. Is okay, double drop. Find his way into the third base of Cure here as Cure tries to siege up the third base of Oliveira. But at the start, this is more damage that Oliveira is getting done. In fact, he's actually in range of the tanks a little bit, so the Bios have to stim forward. But there are 3 tanks here, so it doesn't seem like the Marines are going to find their way through. SCVs, stop pulling him into that. No, Oliveira. He just loses 14 workers that I think realistically he did not have to lose. Now, he does get the entire mineral line of the third base of Cure, so that's something. But it felt like that was unnecessary damage. He could be in a really good spot instead of he's just kind of in an okay spot. And this drive in the main base is going to get, well, cleaned up eventually, but Adding the healing beam a little bit more is nice. Now Liberator's going to move on up, and, well, yeah, it's only 2 Marines, so that's going to be a dead tank. Now you got to figure, oh, no, Kier's going to continue to reinforce. I was going to say, you got to figure that Kier's going to give up on this. And okay, I guess he is at the end of the day. But now Kier has his 4th base. He's turning it into a planetary. Oliveira, he's up 20 workers. He's down in army supply, but for the most part, folks, when we're talking about a TVT, army supply doesn't really matter. It does. But so long as you have tanks. So long as you are worthy. This is something that Oliveira has been doing, by the way, and I just absolutely love it. It's just the random missile turret on the common drop patterns. It provides vision, that's nice, but also if you see a Liberator running through something like that, I mean, look at this. The Liberator is just about dead before it even arrives, so Marines can deal with it much, much easier. It's just a small thing. Just a tiny little bit of something different, but it means that that first level of aggression coming in from Kier, it's not going to get much of anything done. And now Liberator coming in from Oliveira on the other side with no missile turret to mess around with its pathing. Well, man, it's going to get 4 SCVs, maybe even a little more. Oliveira on the right side as well. Seems like most of Kier's army is on the middle of the map, so he's going to stim into the mineral line here. Massive move coming in from Oliveira once again. Well, actually, no, he got 10 workers. So not from that drop alone, but he denies gas. The Liberator got a little bit as the bio. Well, yeah, it's going to be a couple more dead Marines, but Liberator is killed off. And Oliveira just seems to be going from strength to strength here in this game. 1-1 or 3-3, excuse me, timed up very well with what Kier has. He's up 12 workers at this point. Army supplies are, tanks are besieged. Oh, no, Kier. He's going to find a lot of these tanks coming in from Oliveira. Stims on top. The tanks aren't even sieging up just yet. And now it's bio versus a lot less bio. A game-breaking move from Kier. And I was just praising Oliveira. How good his position was. Well, now Kier's up 40 supply. He's at 40 army supply. He got 4 tanks, 5 tanks, excuse me, 4 Vikings, a ton of Marines for really not a lot of his own. And now Kier has a massive position in this game. It's still hard to break a turtle. It's still hard to break a Terran in TVT. But Kier has been so unlocked on the map right now. Liberator's in the main base. There's no missile turret to dissuade them anymore, at least from the path they took. And Kier circles around, tries to find his way into the 3rd base. Marines will deal with this. Well, there we go. There's the dead Liberator. The Marines now, they're going to find their way in, but it's a bit of a surround coming from Oliveira, coming in from 2 sides. Medivacs are going to fall at the start, so these Marines are just going to be better here, and the surround is very nice, but folks, that's one fight. Look at the other side here. Liberator siege up the tank, and now the planetary has to get mass repaired, but that's going to be a bunch of dead SCVs. As Oliveira desperately tries to keep his base alive, he needs to buy time for his army to rotate over, do something. Vikings, well, they will trade out for the most part, but you got to figure this planetary is dead, Oliveira. I guess he's holding position. That's really the big thing. He's buying time for his army to go for the base trade. The Viking wins the fight. Now the tanks are going to move yet further forward. This planetary is dead. There's no saving it anymore. Tanks move forward, but, well, that just is sacrifice the 2 tanks for Oliveira. And, well, now Oliveira is going to find the 4th base of Kier, but it is so much slower. There are so fewer tanks that it's just not going to be in any way equivalent damage. Because now here comes Kier. Once again, he's going to siege out the natural. There's not a whole... Okay, so Bio's going to stem on top of this planetary. Kier's just going to give it up. He's not even trying to repair until right now. And yeah, there we go. That's dead. But he's just bought time for the rest of his army to arrive. And Oliveira, he can't deal with the siege. He's now down 60 supply. And folks, even if Oliveira wins game number 2, it seems like he's destined to win game number 1. Or lose game number 1, excuse me. And now that means Kaizi Gaming after this series is going to be down to their final revive. Don't know what's going to be just yet. Actually, carbon bombing on these tanks is going to be nice, but they're not even killing anything. This is dead for Oliveira right now. He can't even clear up the army at the front of his base. And, yeah. Here comes Kier onto the other side. He still has 4 bases. Random tanks on the right side are going to get cleared up. And, well, folks, Oliveira is desperately fighting for some sort of some of the magic that he had in Katowice, but I don't know how much magic you need. You need to be the greatest wizard that ever lived to be able to make this happen. And unfortunately, Oliveira, despite his getup, is not. So 96 supply to 48. Oliveira has to tap out as his outlying base is found out. And Kier is dark Kier today. Underexposed, but that's going to be totally fine because now he's killed Reynor 2-0. He's killed Oliveira in game 1. And the bottom right, folks, in the blue, back against the wall for Kaizi Gaming. He's the reigning world champion. Can he do it here? Oliveira. And the upper left in the red. He's going on a murderer's road right now. Already 2-0'd Reynor. He's up 1-0 on Oliveira, folks. It's Cure. So now Cure's the one that's going for a Reaper expand in this game number 2. And I kind of like that. He's playing with house money right now. Oliveira is dead. He's got Dark behind him if that's what they want to go for. And then the revive as well, if that gets scary and you got Hero or him or Dark. I mean, you got 3 aces. So he can be a little greedy and try to find an advantage against what Oliveira is doing. And also kind of from a game theory perspective, Oliveira went for a Reaper expand game 1, it didn't work, so you can expect he's probably not going to go for that again, but maybe he's also not going to go super aggressive. He's not going to go gas first because, well, you got to figure that Cure is going to expect that. So instead, you play middle of the road, and Cure just finds himself a little bit of a lead. But of course, that's a lead right now. You can still dive in with three Hellions, 5 Reapers, 2 Hellions, 3 Reapers, something like that, and get damage done. Cure did in game number 1. He bought himself the tiniest of, it's probably more of an equalizer than an advantage, to be totally honest. So the interesting thing here is Oliveira, he's going Barracks Double Gas Factory in a defensive manner. So he's getting that Widow Mine, and Widow Mines are not an aggressive option in TVT. They don't do much of anything. So you get it defensively because it means you can get like 1 less round of units, 1 less Reaper, 1 less Hellion. Because the Widow Mine, at the minimum, is going to get a lot of splash damage done. At a maximum, it is, well, at a minimum, it's going to kill 1 unit running in. At a maximum, it's going to go and get a lot of splash damage done and really invalidate the push. So Oliveira, I mean, he may still go. He actually may go for the type of drop that Maru went for in their game number 3 on Neo Humanity, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. We got a Tech Lab going down for Oliveira here. He's going to be moving into Ravens. The game goes a piece. Cure is just a little bit ahead. He's into Ravens faster. His worker count is not, well, there it is. Okay, so he's got a little bit of a worker lead. He's getting into Ravens faster, which means more energy on the Ravens. And we're just seeing the advantage of going Reaper Expand. Yeah, it's a little more vulnerable, but if you can get away with it, faster Ravens, more workers, slightly better economy, faster into whatever next level of tech you want to find. This is actually kind of interesting coming in from Cure a little bit, where he's going to move, he's not holding this defensively. You know, he's going to go for a bit of harassment early on. And I feel like we don't see that all that much with his first Raven anymore, but actually that's a really nice lock on. Oliveira is not going to scan it out, but he's going to do a lot of damage. Even still, 4 workers go down. So Cure's now up 7 SCVs before 5 minutes. That's actually incredibly significant. Oliveira does have that 3rd base on the way, and that is also something that Cure saw, I believe, with the Raven in the main. So now I think we're going to see something similar. Cure knows that Oliveira is expanding, so he's probably not going to get super aggressive, which means 3rd CC on location. In fact, the SCV is already there. There we go, making up for any sort of timing losses on that front. Meanwhile, stuff on the map. Hellions, Cyclones. They're probably not going to check the high ground. They don't want to. There's a Widow Mine right there. But what they're doing is they're buying scouting. They don't want Oliveira to move on the map. Cure wants to be able to get his 3rd base up, well, on location much faster. So he's going to sit outside the base and Well, just keep a good eye on what is happening as the Widowmine runs forward. Lock on the Hellion and well run away here. But tanks are going to siege up. Widowmine's going to go down. But the tanks get some good shots. And here comes the rest of Kyr's army, though. He thinks he's got a timing. He's got a tank. He's got 3 Ravens. He's got that Cyclone undefended, or undamaged. But even still, looks like he's not going to go for that right now. And Oliveira moves out. I don't know how I feel about this. The army of Kyr's already on your side of the map here, Oliveira. But no, Kyr's going to run home. He doesn't want to risk it. And now I kind of do like this position from Oliveira. That is a third base that is not ready just yet. It is something that is potentially cancelable, but here comes the army moving forward. Auto turrets getting spammed down on both sides. It's like a TVT of old as the tanks, they get disabled. Kyr surrounding on top of everything, and he is swallowing this push from Oliveira whole. The tanks will all fall down, and now look at the lead. It's 7 workers, 5 workers lead for Kyr. He's up double the army supply, and his third base is on location. This is absolute, and Cyclone's there. They're going to kill the last of the Vikings as well. This is massive now for Kyr. Question, whether he can swing it into a win is a different story, but he can certainly dominate the map from this point on out. Ravens don't have a ton of energy, and there we go. Landed Vikings moving forward. Auto turrets just to tank some shots here. One tank's going to get shot down. Second one, is it going to go down? Just barely staying alive, but the SCVs, they carry the rest of it. Only 2 workers have fallen. The tech has been reset, but Oliveira, he stays alive once again, and if really, he only loses 2 SCVs. So that was a fantastic hold from him. Now the Vikings have overstayed their welcome, and they're going to eat a tank shot. But significant hold coming in from Oliveira. He's able to take his third base, and while he is not in a good spot in this game, he's down 12 workers. At the very least, he equalized the army supply. At the very least, he took an intensely cost-effective trade. So now where do we go from here? Kyr has his +1 attack on the way. Really, so too does Oliveira, but Oliveira lacking the gas to get his armor because he needs Vikings, he needs things to defend his third base. And he can't really do that right now. So, well, there we go. There's the armor upgrade, but that's going to be a bit desync. That might be something that Kyr can take advantage of. I don't know. But for now, Kyr's going to content himself with the economic lead he has built for himself. Sitting back at home, waiting for his upgrades, waiting for more tanks, getting the sensor tower, 4th base on the way. Because the onus really is on Oliveira to fight back into this game. This is not going to be an easy game for him to play, as Oliveira scans out the main, gets a good idea that, okay, this is 5 barracks in the main base. It's bio, of course. That was probably pretty obvious, but just a good idea of, well, what the tech path that Kyr is finding himself in on, as we haven't really seen the second factory go down just yet. Kyr just really getting himself ahead economically. He's got that 4th base again so much faster, and he's already up workers. But now, Kyr, what are you going to get done? This drop's going to get found out. Nice scouting marine there from Oliveira. It's a dead marine, but I mean, who cares about 50 minerals if you don't get dropped? And actually, I feel like Oliveira would have preferred to see the marine not get scouted, because then the bio then the double drop finds their way into like 8 Vikings. And that's not great. That's not what you want. That might have been a great move to put Oliveira back into this game a little bit, but as it stands, Kyr is going to find the marine, realizes that he's scouted, backs up. But here comes Kyr once again, setting up 12 army supply. His 1-1 is just about done. Combat shields are done. He's building 8 marines at a time. He's got an army on the left side, army on the right side. We're at a point right now with its 20 army supply in the lead where Kyr has 2 armies that it is difficult for Oliveira to split his army against. So one is just 16 marines and 2 medevacs. Okay, fine on the left side. Actually, Oliveira is aware of this. The Vikings are going to join the fray. And, well, Kyr just runs away. Boosts and stims, make sure that he does not die to that. The majority of Kyr's army is on the right side. And that's where the damage is going to happen. Because Oliveira needs this 4th base. Kyr has had his for a while. The economic lead is significant. So the tanks now, they're going to siege this position up. Before Planetary is ready, the bio moves forward. Vikings, well, they're going to move forward as well. Marines, they're trying to find something, but the tank fire is just too damn strong. Vikings have vision. It seems like Oliveira's going to win the air battle. In fact, he's going to win the land battle too, I think, dropping on top of the tanks here. And that actually should do it. These tanks will go down. Nice fight there from Oliveira. He just won the air battle, and he was just a little bit too far forward. But now, how can he defend the position on the left side? Marines, they're going to have to stim on over. Tank behind the supply depots. He lifts him up in time. And now, Oliveira has two fantastic holds on the right side and the left side at the same time. That means he probably should secure this fourth base. And again, we have an Oliveira that is just hanging on by his absolute fingernails. But if he keeps doing stuff like this is how you fight your way back into a TVT. You got a bunch of Marines unscouted outside of the edge of where Kira's army is as he continues to try to push, but the scan was good. The tank battle goes Oliveira's way, and now Kira's going to have to move another tank forward. Meanwhile, double drop in the main base finally finds its way, and the Vikings are no longer there. And there's actually not a lot of defense here. So Bio's going to try to get on top of the upgrades. And no, they can't. They're going to kill 17 SCVs instead. And, oh, there we go. Now we can see it. 21 workers have gone down. So Oliveira is still down economically. Pretty much right as he equalized the worker count. But at the very least, he keeps his upgrades alive. His Marines will continue to be able to fight as these are going to be dead Vikings in the middle of the map. Oliveira, not exactly what you were looking for, but I guess it could be worse. Could be your entire army. And now Kira backs up. But Kira is starting to realize that, okay, even if I can't break Oliveira, I can break the map. As he takes the base on the bottom left side, he's going up to 5 bases. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take even more soon. In fact, he's got another command center. Well, actually, yeah, no, that's the command center on the bottom left. So that's going to be done in just a second, adding in more starports. So he's building medevacs and Vikings at the same time, just really fighting for that air superiority that allows you to do so much in this TVT. But Oliveira now trying to get active on the map. Unfortunately, he does get scanned out, and now, well, Kira, he's getting ready for some sort of flank. He's got the drop on the bottom side. Oliveira's kind of in the middle of the map. And it looks like this drop is not going to get... Oh, missile turret's going to finish it just in time. We're not going to be able to see it, but I don't think all that much is going to get dropped off. Yeah, like 2 Marines. Okay. That is certainly manageable here. As Oliveira, please allow your Marines to kill things. It's a little bit awkward, but Vikings... Yeah, there we go. There come the Marines. So that's not going to get that much done. Great siege in the middle of the map here. That's a bunch of dead Marines, but Oliveira loses 2 tanks, especially now that his upgrades are down. Biostim's on top of the tank in the third as well. They will both fall, but it buys again. It buys time. 9 workers have fallen, but it's not going to be a dead base. It's not going to be anything more than that. So Oliveira, again, hanging on just desperately. Vikings on the high ground. Ooh, that's a nice catch for Oliveira just a little bit. But Kira continues to maintain this dominance. You know, he's taking the 12 o'clock base now. He's up 6 bases to 4. He's got so much more money. He's up 30 workers. And he doesn't need to... I mean, he's been trading cost effectively, but he doesn't even really need to trade cost effectively right now. He just has so much more money. Every even trade he takes is a trade that Oliveira can ill afford. As Oliveira now... Okay, is this drop gonna get scouted? Yeah, by the single medevac. Oliveira, though, now just boosts into the main base, and Kira's not reacting to it. He's on the bottom side. He's running across the map, and oh, this is 4 medevacs in the main. No missile turrets here. 2 tanks, 3 tanks. This is going to at least knock down a lot of the production here from Kira. This is the move that Oliveira has been looking for quite a while. Meanwhile, he stims Marines on top of the base that's not a planetary just yet, so he's going to kill one of Kira's outlying bases. This is 2 birds with 1 stone. Kira is going to struggle to even find his way to... It's 3 tanks. You know, this is a lot of stuff in the bio. Well, they're not going to find that wave that much further forward. A couple tanks from Kira will now fall down. The bio finally falls. And now that, okay, so this is going to get cleaned up, but this is a massive move. 7 SCVs have gone down, a base has gone down, and Oliveira, with so much less stuff, is doing so much more on the map right now. He's got, oh, his big army rallying onto the bottom side. He's going to deny these 2 command centers. They actually should just die. One of them is going to get canceled. Second one should fall down soon enough. I can't imagine that Kira keeps that alive for much longer. And now... Here's all of a sudden, he's going to have to cancel that base. His planetary is under siege. This tank line from Oliveira is fantastic. And this doesn't feel like we should be anywhere close to this happening, but now Kira's kind of locked out of his 4th. He's certainly locked out of his 5th. And yes, the Viking lead is fantastic. You know, this is an insurmountable Viking lead, especially with Ravens, or air lead, with Ravens starting to join the fray. But Oliveira's army on the ground is nothing to shake a stick at. As he retreats back down to the bottom side, he's going to be aware of this base. So he should kill this. No, he's not going to. A little bit too afraid of Kira sweeping across the map. And Oliveira's starting to find his way back into this. You know, he's only down 1 base now, not 2. His upgrades will complete soon enough, so even that disadvantage is going to be gone. And while the worker count, again, is horrible, army supply is not massively far behind anymore. He's going to have +2 tank attack soon. But Kira still has this massive army. You know, he still has these upgrades. He's got +2 mech attack. He's got 3/3. He's got Ravens on the way. Vikings as well. Okay, again, Oliveira swarming on the right side. He's going to get this base for the second time. And Cure is just massively out of position. So again, we see another nascent planetary knocked down. Oliveira stims down on the bottom side. He's going to get this orbital. Wait. Where's the army of Cure? Oh, okay. Oliveira takes the fight here. He doesn't have the upgrades. Well, no, he does. I'm sorry. But he's got to back up. What he did, he forced a siege up. Now that means the bio can get on top of this orbital. And I think they're going to be... No, they're not going to be able to target it down. But that's still a bunch of dead Marines. Oliveira is starting to massively equalize the supply all of a sudden. Wait, the economy's equal too. 65 workers to 66. He's within 10 army supplies. 17 workers have gone down from Cure. And Oliveira, is he going to get the base on the bottom slide? Is he truly going to equalize this economy? That's 4 tanks. That can beat this planetary down fairly quickly. Cure is not in position, even as Oliveira moves a little bit too far forward with these Marines, but he's going to win the fight in the middle of the map as well. Those scouting Marines will fall down. I wish he would target the SCVs, but even still, that's going to be a dead planetary eventually. Even with the Liberator here, Marines are going to stim forward. They will fall. That's a dead planetary. So now, Cure's on 4 bases. Oliveira is taking his 5th as he stims back into the bottom side. He's not going to get it, though. And while Oliveira is still down in supply, I would posit that he is actually ahead in this game. He needs to survive a little bit longer, of course, but he is pulling ahead from Cure in a way that is just absolutely insane. He has been behind for the first 17 minutes of this game. Make no mistake about it. And it's hard for him to take a straight up fight with the Vikings and the Ravens anti-armor missiling him, disabling his tanks. But the way he's playing this game, all around the edges, forcing Cure to react to him over and over and over again, Cure's just not responding properly. He's got a, hard to say a death ball army because it's not mech, but he has an army that has to stay together. He's got an army that has to clump up, and that is... Well, Oliveira is punishing that one in the extremes. Now he's going to stim into the natural here. Wait, Oliveira. Okay, so Cure's going to respond, but the tanks are going to lock him out. He's just going to stim into the natural. That's a dead orbital all of a sudden. Yeah, it's anti-armor missile, but who cares? Oliveira got what he came for. Now he's got to run away. 10, 11 SCVs have gone down. And because of the tanks here, they weren't disabled. Cure is locked out of that position, so just run, unsiege, run away. Like, it's worth it. He just got the natural orbital Oliveira. He gets away with murder here. And now he's up 20 workers. His army supply is equivalent. He's got, equal upgrades. Lacking +3 for just a little bit longer, but the first time in like 15 minutes. He's pulling drastically ahead in income. And well, again, the supplies are in Cure's favor, and they will if Cure maxes out. Oliveira just needs to keep this style of play that he's doing. It's clear that Cure is just, I don't know, not fast enough, not reading the game well enough for this to happen. Oliveira, though, I would like to see him get maybe a move into Liberators or something. He has the gas for it. He has the money for it at this point. But it's so hard to make that read. He's playing so pedal to the metal as a quad drop on the right side on top of all of these tanks. And Oliveira's going to try to drop right in, but the Marines are here. Tanks are going to get disabled. Oh, no, Oliveira. You screwed the goose. This is not what you want. He's going to lose everything. And his supply was getting so close to equal. He had brought this game back so far. But it doesn't matter because now he's down 60 supply. Every advantage that he'd bought himself, it's now gone. The 20 minutes of coming back into this game, it's all gone. It's all dusted, and now he can't keep this base alive. He has money, sure, but it's going to take him forever to rebuild this army. How do you... He came back for 1 massive deficit. Absolutely. But how do you come back from 2? He's going to lose the planet. I don't think there's any way the planetary stays alive. Auto turrets, Marines, Vikings, they're all just going to shoot this down very quickly. He's got an army on the other side. He's going to try to trade a base for a base. But, well, actually, that's an orbital. He can kill that. The Cure's army is just so much bigger. It's so much higher in tech. This is a difficult game. I mean, it's been a difficult game to play, but this will continue to be an insanely difficult game to play. Although, again, Oliveira can buy the time. He actually has mining. Cure doesn't really. He has... like 2 orbitals. He only has that 1 base on the bottom left side, truly mining. A lot of SCVs are going down. So if Oliveira can continue to buy time, continue to build his army once again, well, maybe. Just maybe, but he has to be so conservative with how he's playing the game from here on out. And he has to do such a good job of forcing Cure all around. He cannot allow Cure to siege him up at all. So that tactical brilliance that we've seen from Oliveira, the fact that realistically, the game looks like it's moving in slow motion for him. Making a much bigger army from Kira just looks smaller on every stage. He has to do that again. He has to reclaim that sublimity. And, well, now he has to defend. You know, he has to maintain this position. And his army supply is starting to come back up once again. But folks, remember, this is heavy on the Marine count. It's heavy on the tank count. These are useful things, to be sure. But there are a lot of Vikings and Ravens on the field, and Ravens do a great job of making these tanks not matter. And also remember, the longer this goes, the more energy these Ravens have. The more tanks that will get shut down, the more of Oliveira's supply here is going to be able to invalidate. And here's the thing, really. Oliveira, oh no, he's okay. He's picked up at his medevacs once again. He wants to make something happen, but he's been scanned out. So he's not going to get much of anything there. And now Kira has a mining base once again. He's spamming mules. He's only on... He doesn't have a lot here. Realistically, he's got about one mining base. But he's been able to use that to max out. He's going to max out on 157 supply. That is going to be a massive army. And with the Raven count he's going to have with the tank count, it's going to be damn impossible for Oliveira to ever take a straight up fight. So again... That's why we see him loading up in the medevacs. He's got to do something like that. He's got to play this counterattack game. Play StarCraft on the edges of the map. Let's see what's going to happen. So Oliveira is close to maxing out. I didn't think it was going to happen. 180 supply to 117 or whatever it was felt like an insurmountable position. Is this over? Or this Liberator should go... Kill the Liberator. But okay, Oliveira coming in from multiple sides, but all his tanks are going to get disabled. And the bio, it's not really coming in from the flank that you want. It's all coming in single file. So the Vikings, they kill everything in the sky. Tanks kill everything on the ground. And Oliveira, for the second time, he throws this game away. Oliveira falls down. Cure 2-0s him. And now we need a revive. God. In the upper right, folks, on his last life, he cannot lose a map from here on out. For Kaizi Gaming, it is Reynor. And on the bottom left, in the red, he has killed Reynor. He has killed Oliveira. Can he do it one more time? It's Cure. So we've seen Cure play mech, we've seen Cure play bio, we've seen, well, I don't know. It's hard to define what happened in that game number 2 of Cure versus Reynor because it all really came down to the Hellbat Marauder timing. They got too much damage done. But we've seen him play mech, we've seen him play bio, we've seen him look good everywhere. And man, you wish that this is the Cure that has shown up at Katowice. Well, are we? Because if you think about it, if this is the Cure that showed up at Katowice, Oliveira probably doesn't make the playoffs. And then Oliveira probably doesn't win the World Championship. And then we lose out on the greatest story we've had in StarCraft in so damn long. So, yeah, you know, it's a question. I'm afraid I don't have an answer. So let's see. We saw Kira go for Hellbat timing. Hellbat Marauder timing. That worked out very well. And then we saw him do the... Well, actually, I guess that was the second game. The first game, we saw the most greedy build I've ever seen. And now we see something totally different. It's a 2 racks opening. He's got a reactor on 1, building a couple of Reapers here. So it's kind of going to go and do a 2-1-1. But it's... Maybe... Well, actually, wait. Did he only build... Oh, no. He only built 1 Reaper. Never mind. Okay. 2-1-1 coming out of Cure on this game. And remember, folks, he's playing with house money. He's going to play a best of 2. He only needs to win one of those games to secure a DPG the championship. If he doesn't, well, he's got Dark in the wings, and even if that doesn't work out, they've got a revive. There is so much that Kier can do right now. So he can do the weird thing. He can do something that's maybe 50% chance to work, but again, he only needs to win one game. And also, in a situation like this, you're playing builds in game 1 that set up builds in game number 2. Or potentially even, you're playing builds in game 1 and 2 that set up a mindset for your teammates to take advantage of in the next series. Which, of course, you know, it's a little bit interesting there because it's probably going to be Dark that comes out, and ZVZ is not ZVT. But if you make Reynor feel off balance, just playing a bunch of really weird builds, maybe he's going to keep that off balance feeling going into Dark, and then maybe Dark can do something interesting. Regardless, it's a 2-on-1 coming out here, which means you get 16 Marines on the map by about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You put them into medevacs, you boost across the map, stim is done, and then, well, you try to get some damage. Of course, that's the version that we see here, and Reynor's going to get a very good scout out of this, by the way, which makes it unfortunate that he's building 6 links right now. One of the reasons that 2-on-1s are so good, or so good for the Zerg sometimes, or when they fell out of favor, is the fact that if it is scouted, and again, Reynor saw this, you can drone up until about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You can drone really hard for quite a while, and then the Marines move out, and then you kind of respond. So Reynor bought his lings just a little bit too early. He might be able to be up at like 50 workers right now, 53, something like that. As yes, Cure is moving out on the map. But this is about, you know, when Cure starts to move out, that's when you start to build your worker units, not before. So again, a little bit awkward there for Reynor, but it's not going to lose him the game necessarily. The Queen's there. They're on the right side. All the Marines are on the left side. And Reynor does have a Roach Warren, unless he canceled it. But he is building lings. He's just building pure lings. You want about 32 of them, plus the Queen's on top, as the Bio's going to stem up on the high ground. And one Queen's going to get targeted down immediately. Great KDA charge. That's already a fantastic spot. Second Queen, though, gets very low before Reynor transfuses. Already here, again, fantastic trade coming in from Cure. He kills a Queen, and the Queens are by far the most important thing. The most important unit that you can have is now Biostims forward once again. But the Queen should be able to handle this now. Well, this is going to be the Maru version of that 2-1-1. He got a Widowmine, 3rd medevac, 6 more Marines, and that adds a lot more power to this force. And now Reynor's trying to knock the rocks down, opening up some more attack angles for him against the 2-1-1. Prevent maybe scary siege tank positions, but okay, now we're at, well, a lot more Marines. Widowmine as well, so here we go. Kier moves forward, scans out the creep. And Reynor pulls the Queens back, but he's got, what is that, like 7, 8, 9 Queens in the clump, building more and more at a time. So this is going to be a difficult position, but Kier snaps down a Queen, moves back. Moves forward once again. How much energy is, we got like maybe 3 more transfuses, 4 more transfuses left. But you got to be so careful here if you're Reynor. The Widowmine adds so much more. As now Biostims forward tries to get on top of a high HP or high energy Queen, gets that one down. That's a lot of effective HP in this army down the drains. Now the Banelings, they move forward. Reynor looking for a bit of a counterattack, but this is starting to get a lot of damage done from Cure, far more than you would expect it to, and he just keeps retreating back to the Widowmine. Lynx trying to find their way onto the other side, but there are okay, Widowmine doesn't get all that much, but yeah, there are Marines, there are tanks right there. Oh, big Baneling shot, and that is going to force Cure back for the moment. So Cure got a lot of damage done. Let's be real. A bunch of Queens fell, a bunch of Lings, but the Baneling at the very end forces him back. The run-by, though, for Reynor doesn't get much done. There were Marines and tanks behind the wall. And now, Cure's got his 3rd base up. Lings are now going to go for the run-by that they were denied earlier on, and this one has a lot more promise. Marine will fall. 3rd base has to get lifted, but Cure goes on the aggression once again. He understands that is about 10, 15 supply of Reynor's army that is not on his side of the map. Or not on Reynor's side of the map, which means he can get himself set up, go for a big push. And let's see just what happens here. Ling's getting ready for this round. Bailing's on the backside. This seems like a pretty good position for Reynor to make the break happen once again. But he's only on 62 workers. He's been running pell-mell into his army units to try to stay alive. Actually, big run-by on the other side, but it's not going to get much of anything. And now, well, that's around that idea that we were talking about. It's not going to get nearly as much done. Bio trying to find their way on the right side. Tank shelling away at these Queens. Evo Chamber falls, but who cares? It's not researching anything. And now the Queens are starting to fall here. Oh, this is starting to get really good for Cure. The Banelings, they don't want to commit just yet. Cure finds his way into a mineral line, forces a couple more workers to fall, forces the army to engage. And now he backs up to the safety of his tank line, and he's got to find some room. There we go. Loads up medevacs. He wants that next round of reinforcements to arrive before he's truly ready here. So again, Reynor sets up a flank. He's got to make something happen. The biostim in once again as they are all healed up. Actually, the medevacs are totally tapped. Not a lot more healing in this army. Overseer's going to fall just barely. And here comes the surround. Reynor's going for the cleanup right now. This should be enough. This should be enough for him to clean it up. Tanks actually get some pretty nice shots on the Banelings to start, but it's not going to matter. Reynor cleans this up very well with his Carapace upgrade that he's got. But folks, he's single Evo. He's 59 workers. He's got that 4th base that actually, I don't know how long this survives. Kirstim's right on top. He's got 1-1. Reynor seems like he's going to be able to respond with no Banelings. These Lings are not going to clean this up all that well whatsoever. So Reynor goes for a desperate counterattack onto the other side. Lings, they will deny a barracks. And by the way, folks, this is not a 4th base on the way for me. This is an 8 racks. He realized that he is starting to find some significant momentum, and he wants to make more of it happen. As the biostim's on top of the Queens with 1-1. It's a little harder to transfuse. One Queen's going to fall. Second one trying to stay alive. It's going to fall here as well. One medevac falls, but folks, that was the one that was low from earlier on, so even that is not going to really matter. 4th base halfway done, halfway damaged. And this is going to force Cure back, but he's lost enough Marines where he's not really going to lose anything. And 2-2 is just about done. Reynor's been trying to hold on as much as he can. Finally, he has that Evo chamber so he can get +1 attack, but this is starting to be a problem. And by the way, this is, while this is an 8 racks, this is not the Clem 8 racks of don't get any add-ons and go. This is going to be, what, 15 Marines at a time. This is triple reactor on this on these additional barracks. This is going to be a lot of production coming out from here in the near future. He's got 2-2 done, so he's going to be up 2 upgrades on his opponent. And, well, let's see if Reynor can hold on. He's been doing a valiant job thus far, but he's only on 68 workers. He's got an infestation pit. He's got ideas about a hive, and that is a glorious tank position right here. Yeah, Reynor's not even going to really try to get on top of it. He kills the sensor tower. That's something. But that is a disgusting tank position. So now the 5th base from Reynor is going to go down. On the left side, Marines have to run away. Banelings actually do not get the best connections. They try to get the tank, and now that's not very many Banelings that remain. The right side gets cleaned up, but now Reynor, well, he's got to deal with this one. Oh, big Baneling, burrowed Banelings on top of everything. And now, well, we talked about this army. Well, it doesn't actually matter nearly as much anymore. I didn't see those whatsoever. And now the push is stymied just a little bit. Hive now on the way. Reynor is in +1 melee, just about done. His armor is complete. And now, what does he do? He's Reynor. He goes for a counterattack. The moment he has any sort of breath on the map, he goes for a counterattack, tries to find his way onto the other side. And Cure is just trying to feast on this position. But Reynor, again, goes for that surround, tries to get his 5th base up, just tries to buy some time. Can Reynor sweep this from the map once again? Hydra Den on the way, sure. Hive, halfway done, sure. But it's all about this fight right now. Great target fire on the Banelings, but more is going to start to join the fray. And this should clean up. Actually, that's a lot of dead Marines. So, again, Cure is going to get swept from this position. Tank still gets some good shots. And actually, he's getting some great shots on the Banelings, but will get cleaned up at the end of the day. Seems like there are enough Banelings. But now the supply heavily in Cure's favor. He's up 30 army supply here, and he's gonna get Reynor's 5th base again. Reynor just does not have army in position. So Reynor, he's got this slim island of creep in the middle of the map on this core position that is just slowly starting to decrease. He's got 4 bases, sure, but he's not going to be able to keep the 5th base up as, Cure targets it down to the last second, sacrifices Marines for it. And again, this is 2-2 versus 1-2. The upgrade advantage that Cure has been a key moment, a key thing in this game. And now Reynor adding Vipers. Seems like those were decent Baneling connections. Reynor adding Vipers. He's adding a Lurker Den. We're going to need... you need more than Lurkers. You need Lurker range. You need Lurker speed for them to truly be useful. And now the push from Cure. Liberator's getting added in. Setting up a much harder push position on the right side. He hasn't been able to crack Reynor's 4th base, sure. But he's cracked the 5th several times. Now this drop on the left side. That should crack Reynor's 5th on the left side. So, Reynor, again, is going to be stuck on 4 bases here. I don't know that he's going to be able to keep this well, actually, no, Lings are here. He seems to be aware of this, so never mind. Baneling's now rolling it. Ooh, nice target fire there from Cure, but he's not going to be able to get that much done. Meanwhile, Marines, they stem forward on the right side. Only 2 Banelings, and, well, that's not going to get the connections that you're looking for. So Cure is now maxed out. His 3-3 is 2/3 the way done. Armor's a little bit behind, but Reynor has to commit the majority of his army up front. So a couple Lings, they're going to find their way into the main base, Actually, the addition of Vipers here is really nice. It means you can parasitic bomb the medevacs, and actually, at least medevacs are pretty low, so that's going to be fairly nice. Yeah, double parasitic bomb. Curious, you going to do that? Yeah, you're going to move Cure. That's going to be 2 dead medevacs, and well, that's going to be a little bit awkward. And Reynor finally, for the first time in a long time, he's going to max out here. And he does have a hive, but he does not have the money to make use of it. No adrenal, no 3-3, not even lurker upgrades. It's bare bone units. Everyone's been deputized here to try to make something happen, and that's a big Baneling connection. Reynor seems to be getting those whenever he wants. And finally, it feels like Reynor is starting to stabilize. His creep is in a horrible spot. But Kira's only just now getting his 4th base on location. Reynor, he doesn't have a 5th base of his own, like just barely, but he's been able to stabilize on 4 for the most part. Great target fire there on the Banes, though, as now Kira moves forward, gets a Hydra, gets a couple more Banes, and only has to back up once again. Meanwhile, Reynor tries to clean this up on the bottom side, and it seems like that tank will fall. Please, can we see that tank? There we go. That's going to go down. But Reynor's just not able to resupply in the way that you want a Zerg to be able to do. 5 lurkers are on the way, but again, folks, no range, no burrow movement, no +1 attack. These lurkers are not all that useful. In the Lings, they move forward. Reynor just has to give the base up. Back down to 4 bases. The Zerg goes. There we go. A tank is going to get abducted. But that's tank even gets a couple shots off. As now Reynor, his 4th base under significant threat here. Cure splits against the Banes. They just do not get the connections that they need. So now he's going to move forward. Lings have to respond. And now this might be a position. Cure's going to be forced back. Yes, that is true. Vipers, man. Parasitic Bomb could kill those medevacs. But this would be a position now where Cure is able to take a position forward on the map. Sieges up what he can. The lurkers, they're just not really killing things all that quickly. The Banelings, they run forward back and, well, there's tank shots. And Widowmine's added in the last second. That gets a lot of Banelings. But the supplies have equalized. Strangely enough, Cure, he still has a much better economy. And yeah, Reynor just can't get a 5th. Cure is swarming on the map right now. It looks like he's actually going to be able to keep this one alive for a little bit longer. But now on the right side, Queen goes down. Spore should fall soon enough. Yeah, Marauder goes forward and gets that. And now Ghost is starting to join the fray. So these are unupgraded lurkers versus ghosts. 5 ghosts at a time, and I don't need to tell you folks, yeah, that's not a good situation. So finally, at least lurker range is on the way. Parasitic Bomb on a lot of the. Ooh, no, Cure. That's okay. He picks up in the healthy medevacs. The low ones are not gonna have any Marines in them. That's fine. But finally, we have lurker range on the way. Okay. This is 3-3 bio against 1-2 Zerg. The lurkers don't have any attack upgrades. The Lings don't even fight all that well. There's no adrenal. There's nothing there. So the longer this goes, Cure is just going to continue to trade more and more cost effectively because, again, Reynor needs to pull everything into his defense. And there we go. Cure even scans out the burrowed Banelings. He's been victim to this one too many times. But Reynor sets up a flank. Lurkers on the left side and the right side. And remember, while they do not have attack upgrades, they do have range. Cure is aware of 1 lurker on the left side, and while Reynor does not hold position here, so he's going to have to move himself just a little bit. A couple lurkers now. They're going to get sniped down. EMP is there on the Vipers. In fact, 1 is going to get sniped down here as well. The Banelings don't find what they need, and now Cure runs forward. Sensing opportunity. The lurkers are not yet burned, but they're enough behind that, well, Cure's not going to be able to crush this position. Not yet. But the Vipers, they're actually sucking HP from the hatch at the front. That's not what you want to do here. That means this hatch is very vulnerable, but lurkers from the low ground onto the high ground, well, they're going to force the Terran back just a little bit, but okay. These hatches are all so low. The 5th base, halfway dead. The 4th base, pretty low as well. And Cure, well, is he going to be able to find this? It seems like at this point the lurkers have to unburrow. They have to move forward. Cure just playing at the edge of things, sniping down lurkers as they move forward. Lings can't join the fray. The Ghosts, they run forward. They don't have... Actually, if they have cloaking, they're not using it at the very least. And there we go. Abduct, but the Vipers get EMP'd once again. And now the Lings, they're just running to their doom. They're 1-2 Lings versus 3-3 bio. The hatch is dead. And yeah, that was a lot of bio that we saw just go down. But I'm not sure how much it matters because Reynor is just not mining at this point. Not really. He's got 4 bases, but his main base is mined out. His natural's mined out. Lurkers on the low ground from the high ground. Again, kind of almost been the saving grace from Reynor at this point. But he's just going to lose them. Over and over and over again. Reynor goes for a desperate counterattack with the lurkers. Tries to knock down reinforcements, maybe, something like that. But there are ghosts here already. There's a tank here. This feels like something that Cure can deal with. So you just put your army on the map in a safe position for a moment. Run those ghosts forward. There's no detection. He's going to snipe down so many of these lurkers, and Reynor, this is not cost effective. He's not finding the value that he wants. He moves in with, what, 10 lurkers. He gets out with 5. And now the Biostims forward once again. Kira now, he seems like he's just in such a suffocating position. Lurkers continue to go down. He's going to lose the 3rd base as well, or 4th base, whatever it was. It's been sucked dry by the Vipers at this point. Now Lings, Parasitic Bomb. I can't believe you, Kerr. Every single medevac stays alive. They all have like literally 2 HP. But he gets 2 bases now. And now Reynor's on 3 hatch. He doesn't even have even if he had the money, he wouldn't have the production to reinforce at this point. Vipers have fallen as well. And yes, the Lurker's going to siege up in the main base, but it's not going to find much of anything. Reynor at this point is dead, but he's looking for a miracle because he loses here and DPG wins the championship. So the Hive has also been sucked dry. It's going to fall. And at this point, Reynor's down 50 supply. He's on 2 hatches. He's actually going to be on 1 hatch. At this point, there is nothing that Reynor can do. He's coming to terms with the fact that DPG, for the 3rd season in a row, the 4th total in 5 years, 3 years actually, they will win the WTL in the playoffs, and there's not a lot Reynor can do about it anymore. GG, he says, Cure is the Slayer. And we can see he's excited about it. His angry shadow behind him as well. Cure wins this tournament by himself. He takes down Oliveira. He takes down Reynor twice. And he takes everything that Kaizi can throw at him.